Testing, 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 1, 2, 3. All right, everyone, welcome back to another Friday night live stream here at Christ Centered Ironworks. So good to have you in the shop this evening. We have Jessica, obviously, behind the computer. The lovely Miss Jess, as Thomas likes to call her. And speaking of that old devil, Thomas, the illustrious Goody Moot hand model there. Oh, welcome, Thomas. Oh, we got him in the house in the forge this evening. We are going to continue our process of forging on our new hot cut hardy for the anvil here for Olga. And we will also be giving away a ton of great blacksmithing tools during this live stream as well. So during this past week, I believe it was, Jess? Or has it been 2 weeks? You got to talk. No, this is your time.
I don't know.
During the last 2 weeks, right? We've been doing the Instagram and Facebook, yes?
Yeah, about a week and a half, I think.
Yeah, so for like the last almost 2 weeks, we've been doing a kind of like share this post, and that'll get you a chance and entered in a chance to win one of our guillotine tools, a C-frame guillotine tool. We've been doing that both on Instagram and Facebook. So we'll be announcing, we'll be drawing, you know, like Iron in the Hat. We'll be pulling some names out of a basket for those two separate giveaways there. I will also be giving away a A-frame guillotine tool just for the YouTube audience here, for people who are in the stream this evening, as well as some 120-degree tools that we sell, and also some rivet heading tools as well. All that we sell over at our website, www.blacksmithingblanks.com. That's right. Thomas is missing out his opportunity.
At www.blacksmithblanks.com.
There you go. Oh, he's too busy thumbing it up over there. He's talking to the peeps, you peeps, I suppose. So, learned my lesson from the last live stream that this thing takes a long time for it to get up to heat. So I've already had the hot cut hardy in the forge getting hot for like the last 25-30 minutes. So it is basically up to heat. I'll just have to cycle up the blower and bring it up to perfection, and then we can go about doing our business. So welcome. Glad everyone's here. Oh, I forgot the most important thing, didn't I? What else are we giving away in this stream, Jess?
Oh, yes, that's right, a forge.
Yeah, what kind of forge, Jess?
Mr. Volcano.
Mr. Volcano, yes. So we'll be giving away yet another Mr. Volcano forge as our year of the forge progresses here. This is forge number 3, I believe, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so don't get discouraged. We're only a quarter of the way there. We still got another, what is that, 8? No, 9. Mm-hmm. Yes,
yeah, 9.
We have another 9 forges to give away this year. So be sure to keep checking back during the streams and things like that. So who do we have in the forge this evening, Jess?
We have lots of people. Thank you, Stephen Watkins, for starting us off with a super chat, starting the party right.
Woohoo! Thank you, Stephen Watkins. Greatly appreciated.
We have Christian Honeycutt, Calm Down, Raymond Lehman, Kyle Jones, Down Under Farm and Forge.
Hello, hello. Hey, Darren. Good to see you here.
See High Desert, Mary Hutner, Bill Will, Charles Humphrey. Let's see, Tom. Hello. Kyle Jones.
Hello. Good to have you all. Good to have you all here. So I think it's going to be a pretty fun night of forging. Just a little update of what I've been playing around with this week. Thomas and I, we've been working on a basin, a copper basin. This past week, used my other gloves to handle it because it's copper. So I'll show you guys this real quick. So I've been sharing some of the progress over on Instagram, and it automatically posts to Facebook, things like that. But that's the copper basin now, long way from just a flat sheet. That started off at 20.5 inches in diameter, and now it's at exactly 18 inches in diameter. But this is all got to still get ground, rough ground, finished, sanded, polished to a mirror finish, and then all of my patina put on it from there on out. Gonna show it down on camera number 2, Jess?
Yep, let's go there.
Can you see that? Boom. Pretty nice bowl, if I do say so myself. and was able to get it pretty even. So Thomas was a great help with that, but that's what we were kind of working on as our main project, as well as getting out a ton of orders. Thank you to everybody who's been ordering the guillotine tools. That's helped funding this next tool that's coming along that I'll be releasing in April. It's going to be a much bigger tool. Don't want to say too much about it. It's going to be much bigger of a tool, and yeah, I think everybody will like it and get a lot of value from it, as there is nothing like it out there on the market currently. So I'm hoping it'll be really well. So thank you all for all of your support. Everyone who's been buying blacksmithing blanks of any kind and at any dollar amount. It's been greatly appreciated. It helps funds this whole thing forward, as well as all of the channel members have been making this content possible like for well over a year now. So thank you all so much for that support, and all you super chatters as well. That is what allows us to give away all of these great items, all these great tools. Like I said, I have that CNC plasma bed now in the CNC blank business, and that allows us to do all these other various giveaways and give away guillotine toolkits and things like that, which, you know, just allows us to bless you all even more. So thank you. Thank you for the support.
Speaking of that, Tim O'Connor sent his member chat and said, "Have fun tonight, guys."
Woohoo! Thank you, Tim O'Connor. Greatly appreciate it.
Also,
So, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and rev up the airflow there, and we're going to go ahead and kick it off with a giveaway.
okay.
What do you think, hon?
Yes, may I insert something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead and answer it.
Shop Cats Forge, thank you for the Kitty Cat Super Sticker.
Thank you.
And also, Christian Honeycutt sent a $5 super chat and says, "Love you guys. The whole reason I do what I do is because of y'all."
Awesome. Awesome to hear. Love you too. Thank you. Greatly appreciate that. So, first things I want to give away in tonight's stream, I'm going to give away one of these. You go camera number 2, Jess?
Yep.
I want to give away one of these. Can they see that okay?
Yes.
Does that look good there?
Yeah. Yeah, that works.
I'm going to give away one of these rivet heading tools that we've been making. We've been making this out of the scraps that come out of our A-frame guillotine tools. So we're going to be giving one of those away. It's got both my touch mark and Thomas Goodymoot's touch mark on there. And some of you guys have been seeing some Instagram posts where I was using the fly press to press the depressions into there. And so I'll be giving one of these away for whoever may be interested. And then also, the next item that I'll be giving away is one of these 120-degree tools. This is a design I came up with that allows you to lay out the perfect hole position for legs on trivets. But Thomas and I haven't posted the video yet about it just yet. We made him a monster hook jig, and we used the much larger 12-inch diameter 120-degree tool to actually lay out all of the lateral lines for our hole positions for that actual hook jig. So that was super, super handy, like very, very fast to lay out those lines on a big circle. We were able to just line it up to find the center of it, and then just draw our lines, and then just turn it a little bit, draw our lines, turn it a little bit, draw our lines, and we could get all those radius lines out. So that was really, really handy. You can get this if you don't win these in tonight's stream. I have a boatload of them that we've made up, so you can find these over our website now as well. They are a standard product at www.blacksmithingblanks.com. So, all right, let's give away the rivet tool real quick, Jess. You ready?
Right. Yes, I'm ready.
All right, we can go back to the main cam.
Okay.
And we'll draw for it. Ready?
Yep.
Who do we have?
We have Jerry Witt with Rivet Header.
Jerry Witt.
That's correct.
Congratulations, Jerry Witt. You won this rivet header tool. Go get with us through the contact email down in the description, and we will get it out to you pronto, sir. Monday morning, probably. Post haste. So, generally, whenever we have all this stuff, or any tool sales or anything that happens over the weekend, usually ships first thing Monday morning. So, we work the weekends to get them all packaged up and ready to go on Monday. So, all right, let's do the 120-degree tool next.
All
Sound
right.
good?
Sounds good.
And 3, 2, 1. Who do we have, Jess?
We have Frank Strock with 120 degree tool.
Hey, Frank, you won one, brother. You got a 120 degree tool. Thank you for being a constant supporter of the channel, Frank. Get with us, contact email, you know the drill. You know the drill. I shouldn't have to tell you. Frank's one of them OG supporters. He's been around since the dawn of the channel. Or pretty darn near close since the dawn of the channel. He was like, I ain't got much going on in my life right now. I guess I'll watch this guy.
Robert's trying to say you should give away my jig.
I should. I tried to sell it. Last night. I did. Yeah, in Troy and Eli's stream. Oh man, I had so many takers. I was like, well, it's for a special price because I got to like pay the breaking and entering fee, and I might get shot. And
That
yeah.
works. Good to have you.
What's that?
I said that works. Good to have you.
Hey, That Works. Good to have you all here. If you guys don't know That Works channel, you guys should go check them out. You've probably been living under a rock. They do amazing content, like in order of magnitudes of like 100x better than anything I'm producing right now. Or have produced, let's just be honest. That Works. Good to have you guys here. Their editing and content's always on point along with the forging, so definitely go give them a sub.
Charles Humphrey says, I'm just starting. My son and I are starting to do forging. I did SCA and learned to make armor and started to learn forging.
Yeah?
But yeah, that's definitely a specialty skill.
Yeah, it is. Well, awesome. Glad to have you. Glad you're getting after it.
Brian, yes, you can win more than one item.
Yep,
That's correct.
exactly. I guess I should explain how that works, right? The giveaways.
Sure.
So for all of you that are new here, the way that the giveaway streams work is you just have to be present in order to win something. So you have to be present, that's number one. You have to be actively commenting and engaging during the time that we are giving something away. So we usually let you know, just gives you a heads up, like, hey, we're about to give away something, right? And then that gives you a chance to start your commenting, like, hey, you know, I want guillotine tool, or guillotine tool would really help out, or whatever the item may be, or I love rivets. Some sort of comment that then she scrolls at random and selects one random winner from the comment section. So that's how that works. No big hoops to jump through. You don't have to give us your mother's maiden name, stool samples, urine samples. You can keep all those in the comfort of your own home and don't ever send them to me. And yeah, we prefer it that way. And yeah, it gets along pretty darn good. We've been doing that for a long while now, haven't we?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's how you know you've won something, and that's how you know it's from us, is you were actually here and present, and you have to contact us through the contact email in the description to claim your prize. So that's the way it works. You got 24 hours to do so, otherwise it gets put up in the next giveaway stream. Pretty
Harold.
simple. Those are the rules. Take them or leave them.
Harold, we're just warming up. You're not too late.
Who?
Harold Hoshkison.
Harold? No, we're just warming up. Well, heck, I haven't even warmed up yet. We're still waiting
Still
for this
working
thing
on
to
the
get up
first
to heat.
Tim O'Connor, thank you for the $5 towards shipping.
Thank you, Tim O'Connor. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated.
Jim Mitchell says, I watched your video on forging a 10-inch pan today. I can't wait to make a pan from one of your blanks. Thank you.
Awesome. So glad that's helpful to you. Can't wait till you make one. Send me a photo over on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, or Facebook. I'm not on Facebook much, so don't expect a reply. I just got the two accounts linked, so when I post in one, it posts to the other. I'd love to see the progress.
Jeff Killian says, got here, still nursing my wife back to health after complete shoulder replacement. We'll keep her in our prayers, Jeff.
Yeah. Jeff, she's in our prayers, brother. We will make sure that she's in there. Hopefully that shoulder gets healed very quickly. gets back to normal life. All right, Thomas, so the first thing we need to do is we've got swelling at the top. I want to knock out and control. So we're going to just hammer the swelling at the top down a little bit, and then we will continue our driving process to drive it down into the hardy. Getting it more short, squat, and fat. What's not to love? All right, we ready to go to anvil?
Sure are.
Okay.
Go for it.
Good. Well, what we're also going to do at this time, we're going to go ahead and put a small taper on the end of this to help control the swelling at the top. All right. See here. Let's go ahead and square that up a little bit. Easier. Don't need you to murder it. Eventually, I'm going to forge some proper set hammers with Thomas at some point. I need to get... Oh, darn. Let's see here. Wrong bone. I've got a bend in my hardy shank here I want to take out.
Hard or gentle?
A little harder. Whoa. Oh, look what I got. Okay. I'll take one more heat on that to get that bend out. Hold up, let me get this moved out a bit more. Good.
That could be the striker challenge.
What's that?
Making some set hammers.
Nah, I said what the striker challenge ought to be.
Yeah, do we got a Troy?
Yep. Yes, he is.
Oh. See, because it's not enough to have a striker challenge, because Smith and strikers... All right, we're going back to main cam. So, all Smith and striker challenges have one big flaw that I've always seen happen in every single challenge anybody's ever done on Smith and striker. And the huge flaw is, let's see how fast we can draw out something. Let's see how far we can pull something out using a Smith and striker. Whoever's the quickest wins, whoever gets the longest length wins, things like that. And unfortunately, that is very flawed, because 99% of the time that we use a striker in a blacksmith shop, and historically speaking, wasn't just for pulling out bar stock and just being kind of a mechanical hammer, so to speak, with fleshy bits. You use a striker for all operations at the anvil. That would be cutting things off using a double hot cut setup. That would be using set hammers and fullers and all various swedges and all sorts of other things. And so the biggest thing that all these challenges miss the point on is accuracy, because brute force and strength without accuracy means nothing. So you can go wail around on a piece of steel all you like, as heavy as you want, pick up the largest hammer in the world, forge, but if you don't know a single thing about what you're doing and where you're going, and you don't have that accuracy to be able to put out a progressive forging operation, it's a waste of time. It's worthless. You can put a big piece of steel under a 1,000-pound or 10,000-pound hammer, and if you don't know the steps that you're trying to take, all that mashiness, all that potential energy is worthless to you. You're just making, you're making scrap at a faster rate, right? So Smith and striker challenges, if you're going to do a Smith and striker challenge, as I was talking about in Troy and Eli's stream last night over at Bar Run Forge, I was talking about the challenge should be something that's difficult with accuracy. So, for instance, putting a hole the hard way through a bar, a rectangular bar, like a piece of 5/8 by 2.5 inch bar, putting a slit and drifted hole through it the hard way. And whoever's the most centered and has the most accurate hole with even wall thickness wins. Because that would be a Smith and Striker challenge, because that would actually have practical application in the real world. So, you know, that's, if you want to run Smith and Striker challenges, that's what you should do for a Smith and Striker challenge. Because everyone's seen them before, where it's like, oh, let's all have a competition who can, you know, who has the longest hammer handle and can pull out the, you know, pull out a bar stock the furthest. So
I'm coming for you, Eli. Calling you out.
We have a comment here from Leon. He says, I took my first blacksmith class last Saturday at Traditions Workshop, making a Viking twist handled knife. Look forward to meeting you in November in Gainesville at the FABA meeting.
Awesome. Awesome. So glad to hear that, and looking forward to meeting you two as well.
That Works also said, had a bent screw on a screw press that we got, had to hot straighten it. What a brown pants moment.
You brave man. Brave men. and women, whoever worked on the process, though. But yeah, a bent screw. It had to straighten it hot. Had to hot straighten it. There's like so many areas where that can go wrong. From jacking up the threads to having the threads themselves are stress risers, you know, because they're machined in. So, yeah, to not develop cracks and not to jack the threads all up to where it still functions. Woo! That's quite the ordeal. What's funny about that, though, is that's not the glitz and glamour of blacksmithing, right? Like, that's the real world application that you can use blacksmithing for. And a lot of times I find that to be some of the funnest things about blacksmithing, is when you have a real world application like that. Oh, I've got an axle shaft that's bent. Oh, well, if you're a blacksmith, you could straighten that up. You can use your knowledge of how steel works and put it back straight. Nowhere else can do that. A welder would just have to cut a section out and re-weld something in and hope to get it straight, you know. A machinist would have to turn it down to oblivion to get it straight. Blacksmith's like, oh, give that over here. It'll take me 5 minutes and a leather mallet to straighten that out. Oh.
Simeon, thank you for the member chat. He says, I see you guys are in coats. I'm in New York enjoying 65 degrees.
You enjoy that 65 degrees. We'll take the coats for as long as we can keep them. What's going to end up happening is all you guys out there that are bragging about your little 60 degrees you got going on, 70 degrees that you got going on, what's going to happen is it's called summer. And that summer is going to be in a week or two from now, and it's going to last until Christmas. And it's going to be a 90+ degrees for y'all. Oh, and meanwhile, here in the north, where it's cold, meanwhile, it's going to still be like, it's just going to be getting up to 70 degrees, 70 to 80 degrees up here.
Sean Anderson, thank you for the $20 super chat. He says, thanks for all you guys do.
Very welcome, Sean. Thank you so much, sir, for that super chat.
Eric says, I think Roy needs more coffee. He seems a bit laid back tonight.
I seem a little bit laid back. That's got to be sarcasm. Where is my coffee? There is my coffee.
The coffee.
Thank you for reminding me that I have coffee.
Jerry Witt says, when are you going to give away a Thomas for those of us without a helper?
Get up here, Thomas. We'll raffle him off right now. Like, hey, who's got $1?
I'm Navy.
Steve McAllister says, I'm using a Weaver anvil I mounted using your anvil stand tutorial. It works great.
Awesome. So glad to hear that. The secret to that anvil stand, secret to most of the anvil stands I got, depending on which one you're using. If you did the one with the, like the one I got in the back for the 66 pounder, those are great all around if you just don't have large lumber on hand, depending on where you're at. You know, you don't have a large tree that's recently fell or a stump. That's where those come in handy. The secret to the stand, like what Olga has underneath here, is the pitch of those legs. That is the critical point. You get them too far out, they jump around. You get them too far straight up and down, they jump around. You get them at the right cant and pitch, it's like a perfect a triangle. It's sturdy. It don't move nowhere. It stays put wherever you place it. Even if you've got a lighter anvil, they don't jump or scooch around. That's the big key, is the angle of those legs. Who's Thomas? Exactly. Who is Thomas? Who is the man that they call Thomas?
He's just a hand model, guys.
He's just a hand model. He's all brain. No, wait. I got that wrong. Yeah. He's all brawn. I'm supposed to be the brain.
Jay Muska, thank you for the €10 super chat. Says, greetings from Lithuania.
Thank you. Greatly appreciate that. Greetings from Michigan, Northern Michigan, USA. Glad to have you here. All right, we ready to go do some more striking?
Sure.
All right, we're going to use this hammer instead, so that way we're not having any sort of glancing blows there. You got the anvil, Jess?
Yep, we're there.
See if we can get this turned the right way. That'll be good enough. Let me set it down. Watch out. Go ahead and give us a pop this way. Well, give us a pop back that way on this corner. There you go. All right, go ahead and drive it down. Focus right here on the ends. Let's take out that swell. Try to come in higher and flatter.
Right there?
Yep. Whoa. We'll get that hot. Getting more squat, making it work.
Hey, Troy, enjoy your date. He said he has to run.
Troy, thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming out, Troy.
Angelo Pedretti sent a $5 super chat and said, $5 for the Thomas Power Hammer. Let the bidding begin. Excuse me, I got a little tongue-tied. Let the bidding begin. Eric says, are you paying shipping on the Thomas if we are the highest bidder?
Thomas is paying the shipping on the Thomas. Oh, he's going to walk to your location.
gonna be a long walk for me.
Possum Sausage says, wish I had a Thomas earlier this week when I made my flatter.
Where's Possum at?
Indiana.
Indiana?
They are handy. They are handy. I do have to say so myself. So I just remembered one other thing that we will be giving away this evening. And this is actually a pretty cool one for all you book nerds out there that like to read blacksmithing material. So I was sent a couple books actually, or two of these same type books. Want to go to camera number 2?
Yep.
There we go. I was sent this book and a copy of this for myself to actually do a review on, so there'll be a video coming out on this very soon. But this is the new Spruce Forge Manual of Locksmithing, a blacksmith's guide to simple lock mechanisms. Dennis, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so we're just going to call it Frenchette. Bill Morrison, also another guy I know. So Dennis, you may know him as DF in the Shop here on YouTube. He's actually got a YouTube channel as well. Really cool guy. And then Bill Morrison as well. Both these guys, I believe, live in Michigan here as well. They're both hometown boys. So pretty cool. Pretty cool book. I will give my full review on it and what I thought about the book. In that you guys will just have to watch the video on that. I don't want to give away too much right now. But I will say this much about it. It's an amazing job, period. Like,
it's a very thick book also.
It is very well thought out, very well illustrated and instructed. So I will have a more in-depth review coming soon on that. But we'll be giving those away. We were sent that by Artisan Ideas. Make sure I said that right. I've been notorious for conflating, configurating the ideals and ideas. So make sure I said that right. Artisan Ideas sent these over to me to check out. So we do have a link to this book down in the description down below. I am not sponsored currently by Artisan Ideas. So again, it's 100% unbiased review of the book, but also they sent this to just give away. So there you go. Now you know our relationship.
You should flip open to a few of the pages.
You want to flip open to a few of the pages?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'll do that. Give them a quick glance, huh?
Tim O'Connor says Dennis is Canadian.
Dennis is Canadian.
But not too far. Canada's
I'm
not
not sure
that far.
he's, well, he may be Canadian, but I thought he lived in Michigan.
Oh,
He lived in the UP. May around Sioux.
could be.
I don't
Yeah.
know. The UP might as well just belong to Canada anyway.
Yeah, them Yoopers. Oh. I wouldn't mind being a Yooper, but we settled on being trolls instead. So I don't really want to.
Touch
I mean,
it.
I've got dirty
Gotcha.
hands. So I'm going to try not to handle the pages as much as possible. But, well, you guys will get a little bit of Roy Blacksmith dirt. So you can kind of see what you're working with there. The whole book is very well illustrated. This one's in color. It's also got plenty of like black and white diagrams drawn. I'll show a different section. Let's see here somewhere with a lock mechanism. There. So it's showing off, right, how to make different schematics and lock mechanisms, things like that. If you've ever had to read a print a day in your life, this is like child's play. So easy to follow, well-made instructions. Like I said, I'm not going to give out a full review on that. But point is, there's a link. You should go check it out. Let Artisan Ideas know that we sent you there. Maybe they'll send us more books to give away, right? In the future. And we can keep cultivating that relationship, and maybe it'll be a good thing. So, but yeah, really great book as far as I can concern. Man, I'm having a hard time not taking and just giving it a review right now. But just go check it out, all right? Just go check it out. But we're going to be giving away that book in tonight's live stream as well. It's going to be one of the giveaway items.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, lots of really good comments. PJ says that's a really cool book.
Yeah.
Steve McAllister says the dusty fingerprints are basically an autograph.
Yeah. They're my biological signature on the pages. You know a blacksmith has thumbed through them before. What else you got?
Let's
Questions?
see, I was looking for, Ross Forge says, lock making is so fun. I do Viking Age master mirror locks. Amazing how detailed locks can be.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't ever heard of him, you should really check out Tom Latinay's work. He lives over in Wisconsin. His home shop's over in Pepin, Wisconsin, and you should really look him up and check out his work. It's top-notch stuff. It's pretty darn insane. He was actually the master smith that I've done the most tutelage under and I've done the most learning with, and I did a couple internships / apprenticeships with him. So I'm a fanboy. I'm definitely a fan. If you haven't checked out his work, you're missing out. It's really some crazy stuff. So.
Debak Maker says, Dennis showed his book about a week ago on his own YouTube channel.
Yep.
Army Soldier says, I need lots of pictures. There's a lot in there. Lots of pictures and diagrams.
Yes, there's a lot of pictures and a lot of diagrams. Like I said, if you've ever read a print before a day in your life or any sort of technical drawing, this is cake work. This is like, yeah. Gerber served to you.
Thomas can look at it too.
Yeah, that means even Thomas can figure her out.
Read it too good.
Me and Thomas have a thing going on in the shop, a little funny back between me and him. Whenever he does something that I don't want him to do just right then or whatever, he's like, I can't read good, okay? So anytime one of us does something that's not too intelligent, that's the common response in the shop now, is like, I can't read, okay?
Christian.
With
Go
that
ahead.
being right there, we're not trying to make fun of the people that actually can't read. So we love all of you guys.
Disclaimer by Thomas.
Well, if you can't read, hopefully you were listening to all that, because the subtitles are doing you no good right now. I'm sorry. I had to. He's trying to PC it all up here. I'm like, my soul was cringing. So, of course, we're not making fun of people who can't actually read. That wouldn't be very ladylike, would it? Or Christian-like either. All right, let's play the game. Let's see how many people I can offend this evening. Does that sound good? Let's see how many people I can offend. I'm pretty sure I can get high marks. Pretty sure.
I think it's going to be hard to get demonetized in today's world.
You know, fortunately, I think most of the people who watch this channel are either in currently a construction trade, craft, or have been in their lifetime, and you get the sense of humor that goes along with it, and you are not bugged by those sort of things so much. Let's give some more stuff away before this next heat.
All right.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
I'm sure the comment section's hilarious, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Just keep it for the YouTube censors that happened. You know, we'll just keep it PG at least. Well, 1999 PG rated, okay? Not 2022 PG rated. All right, let's go to the anvil. Are we at the anvil? Let's go to the anvil. All right, we're going to give away another one of these 6-inch 120-degree tools. Where can you find that at, Thomas?
BlacksmithingBlanks.com.
I've got him trained so well. All right, we're going to be giving another one of these away when I finish ringing my hammer on the anvil. We'll just give it away to whoever's been commenting. And then we're also going to give away 2 more of these rivet heading tools. We ready?
Yes.
We go back to main cam?
Yep.
We good?
Yep.
All right. Do they need more heads up than that?
Oh, no, they're commenting.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Who do we got? Thomas is over here messing with me.
We have James Anderson with 120 or bust.
James Anderson, congratulations. You got the 120-degree tool. You didn't bust out. Congratulations. Congratulations, James Anderson. Get with us through the contact email in the description, and we'll get that sent right out to you.
Debaka says, give Thomas a cracker.
Give Thomas a cracker.
Yeah.
Thomas want a cracker? All right. All right. We're going to give away one of these not 120 degree tools. We're going to give one of these rivet headers away. Again, you can find that over at www.blacksmithingblakes.com. We're going to go ahead and roll the hammer roll for see who we get.
All right.
Who do we have?
We have Angelo Pedretti with rivet.
Angelo Bedretti?
Yes.
Is it Bodretti?
Pedretti with a P.
Huh?
Angelo Pedretti.
Pedretti.
Yes.
I'm going deafer as we go. Yes, deafer is an English word, okay? Deafer. Angelo, congratulations. You are a winner of a rivet bucking tool. Heading tool there. All right, we're going to give away another one. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Who do we have?
We have Jeff Woodring with rivet header tool.
Jeff Woodring, congratulations. You got a rivet header tool there, brother. Congratulations. You all know the deal. Get with us through the contact email in the description. And thank you so much.
So,
all right.
so far.
I'm going to do some dressing up on this real quick.
All right.
Nope, I'm going to do it. I'm just trying to get any sort of rhombusing I have out of it. Get it back in the anvil here. Get it to come to. So occasionally when forging something like this, it is nice to just take an extra heat or so and get things adjusted. Make sure you're not getting any rhombuses starting, stuff like that. Make sure everything's squared up nicely. Take your time. Said, I believe this last hot cut Hardy has been in my anvil for at least 4 or 5 years now. And well, as long as I got Olga, I don't know how long ago that was. It's been a while now. But so I'm going for long term, right? I'm going for a tool that'll stick with the anvil, basically. So it's worth taking the time that is necessary to do what I want with it and to, make it correct by me, basically. What else we got, Jess?
Mary says, I need a larger brush like that. Any info?
A larger brush like this. You can buy these at any of the main suppliers of blacksmithing tools. Blacksmith Depot, Pie Tool Co., I think, any farrier supply place, Yoder, I think it's Yoder Blacksmith Company, any place that basically deals with shoes, farrier work, they'll have them, or any online blacksmithing company now. This is a Winco number 225, so it's a Winco number 225 is what this butcher block brush is. They're very handy. Obviously, they give you a really nice handle to hold on to, keeps your fingers away from the hot heat. They're pretty good to go. I do, however, suggest that you stray away from those that you have to hold like this, like a scrubber. Those, no good. You're going to burn more fingers than what you're going to brush hot steel. I just don't like those. Generally, you see people adapting, putting handles on them. Main reason for that being they're cheaper. They're cheaper than these, but they're also narrower and, in my opinion, not nearly as good. So I like having a full handle that comes right along with it. So that's where you can go. Like I said, just about anything can be found now on the internet. Just look up butcher block brush, or again, that Winco 225, number 225.
Christian Honeycutt says, do you know of a good blacksmith to work under here in North Carolina?
I'm sure there are a couple. I am really bad on remembering people's home locations. The only reason why I remember Tom's is because I've been to his house so much. I've been to his forge so many times, and he's had the most influence on my work. So that's the only reason why I remember that one. I would suggest that you actually get with your local group and kind of ask around there as far as, you know, they'll know who to point you in the right direction to. Most groups, most forging groups that you get a part of, they generally have like that guy, their kind of go-to wise old sage of the woods there that seems to know everything about blacksmithing that they can direct you to. Oh, but as far as, yeah, I'm not really good at remembering where people are from. I know names. Sometimes I only know first names where I can't pronounce their last name, so I've just took the time to just remember their first name. So, yeah, I'm not real good at remembering where everybody's at there in the United States. You have to keep in mind, bear in mind, we get thousands of comments every month, thousands of questions. We get thousands of introductions and like, hi, I'm so-and-so. Well, hello, so-and-so, right? And unless that develops into a longer conversation or more of a comment chain along that route, we don't really, it's a lot of names. It's a lot of names to know.
Yep. Tim O'Connor, our local Michigan group is called MABA, Michigan Artists Blacksmith Association, and they have meetings all over the state. So it changes every month.
And even they have their own old wise sage that they go to for their trusted information. So I'm not it, by the way. I'm a member, but unfortunately I haven't been to one of the meetings yet because of all of the pandemic stuff that was going on. So kind of moved to this state and didn't have that. Not now, put it away. What else we got, Jess?
Let's see, we also have a comment from Spencer Overbeck who says, what books do you recommend for a beginner blacksmith?
Books for a beginner blacksmith.
We have 2 videos.
He's a great instructor and obviously has put out a top-notch level instruction for book as well. I own his whole series on those books. I have not been through them all. I've just skimmed the pages. But yeah, very well put together books when it comes to that. I would say a Blacksmith's Primer by Randy McDaniel. That was my first introduction to any sort of learning whatsoever on blacksmithing, was a book I got of his from the library. So I would say I would point you down those directions just as some good general starting material. Once you are familiarized with the terminology of smithing and forging, I would say that I would check out Coursera books, C-O-S-I-R-A, and they have some really great information on like just fundamental forge welding processes and all sorts of good stuff, leaf work, architectural type stuff. I would say that whole series is top notch as well. So there you go. And that one I've read front to back, back to front. So what's up?
Glenn Martin says I'd buy a video of Mark Asbury reading the phone book. He's an excellent teacher.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't ever born with a great accent. So there's just something about the accent, man. It's like, I could sit here all day. It's like, wait a minute, where'd my wallet go?
Not all of us could be Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, not all of us could be Morgan Freeman.
Good evening, Mr. Coffee.
Mr. Coffee, good to have you in the place, in the house. So Thomas, he's been chomping at the bit to take and give me an item. So we're going to let Thomas give me something. Me's. Yay!
It's like
So
Christmas.
Roy does a lot of giveaways, and occasionally he gets some stuff.
Drop the volume down a bit.
So Roy does a lot of giveaways, and this is a little bit of my appreciation to him, just to say thank you for teaching me. I'm going to be going back to work here within the next month or so, but one cool thing is I get to still work with him 1 day a week. That's how I worked with my other employer. So still get to hang out. You guys will still see me maybe in a few videos and stuff like that. But this is kind of my gift to you, Roy. So
Well, thank you, Thomas.
a little bit of an unboxing here.
Watch it be a bomb or something. I reached out in here. It's like a big.
That's like the
It's a big
perfect-
bear trap. Ah!
It was a possum I caught earlier.
It's a midget. It's the replacement.
Don't do that. Those scare me. Let's not do that. All right. Woohoo! Look at that. We got a potato masher. Look at that. That's cool. Let's go to camera number 2, Jess,
All right.
so they can revel in the glory. Very, very cool. Man, that's so nice. Looks real nice.
So this was the project that I was working on in the last live you guys saw when I destroyed something in 2.3 seconds. I was in the process of setting the wedge in right here. I was in the process of setting the wedge, and I completely split the whole maul right in half. And so I came up with something to stop that, and that was putting the bands on. And this is all cherry from my property, and that's all handmade, no power tools, even drilling the head.
Okay.
There you go.
Even drilling the head was all done by hand. So,
Thank you, buddy.
yep, no problem.
Greatly appreciate that.
Debaka
Well, there
Maker.
you go.
Debaka Maker says, magnificent mallet.
That is. It's going to live proudly at the anvil, or right by my other mallets over there. Great. Now I got 2 mallets.
After that one that you that busted. In
After
your
the one
video.
that busted, yeah.
Yep.
So, thank you, Thomas. So that's awesome. All right, I'm gonna set this over out of the way because it's pretty. It's looking nice. It's adorning that rack beautifully now.
Yes, it is.
I like the look of it. That's what I like the most about that is it's got this very orcish look to it. It's gonna look really cool in YouTube videos. People are like, "Wow, where'd you get that sick mallet? Do you sell those?" And I'll be like, "Well, yes, I do." Over at www.blacksmithingblinks.com. And then I'll be calling up Thomas. Yeah, we got like 50 orders for those. Get on it.
As you hear the song.
Yep, and that's how that works. What else we got, Jess?
Let's see. Spencer Coots says the Art of Blacksmithing by Alex Beeler is also very good.
Yep.
Tyler Branch says, I have a question. I currently had a piece of forklift tine welded to a railroad track for an anvil. Would it be fine as is?
He had a piece of
Forklift
forklift
tine.
truck tine welded to the top of a railroad track
Yes,
Anvil.
For an anvil.
for an anvil.
Mm-hmm.
Is it welded on right now?
Yeah. He says, would it be fine as it is? Well,
I
it'd
don't
be
see
pretty
why
hard.
not. You done did it, so go for it. Let her rip, Tater Chip. I mean, if you did the weld proper and it doesn't look like it's been chicken pooed together there, then I would say, yeah, go for it. Generally speaking, I know a lot of people praise trying to get hardness in anvils and get things as hard as humanly possible. That's a holdover from the knife and blade making world. You really don't want that with your beating instruments, right? You want toughness, not necessarily hardness. So a good hardness level for an anvil top is anywhere from about 52 to about 56 Rockwell, and you don't want anything harder than that. Generally speaking, most anvils, commercially manufactured anvils, right now are hitting right around that 54 Rockwell zone, if you will. So I would stay within that. So whatever that is. So what I'm basically telling you there is it's okay to actually take that forklift tine and heat it up if need be, to preheat it to get a good bead in there and to get it welded to that rail track or whatever when you're making your joints. Again, I don't know, I can't see through the lens here what you've got going on, but you know, you don't have to worry about hardening things up and stuff like that when you're just when you're beating other things on top of it. In fact, it could be a very dangerous situation, especially if you're just getting into it and you don't understand the processes of heat treatment or the steel that is most likely a mystery steel. You don't know what characteristics that steel has in order to properly heat treat the thing. So it's just best to kind of leave it as is and work with what you got versus trying to harden and temper and do all that, because you don't have the specs on that rail track and you don't have the specs on that forklift tine.
We also have a comment from Robert Lannis who says, who needs books when you have Roy's video series?
Say what?
Robert Lannis says, who needs books when you have Roy's video series?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the question comes up about videos. If you're just new here, if you're just joining us, I welcome you to subscribe. I welcome you to click the bell for all notifications to get future content. I also welcome you to go onto the channel and search the specific question or topic you have a burning desire to know. There are well over 1,800 videos, I think, as of right now, on YouTube that I have produced over the last, are we coming up on 6 years or 5? I can't remember which.
I think it's going to be 6 in February. Oh, no. Okay, we just passed it. I think we're at 6.
This is our 6th year of doing YouTube. Okay, so in 6 years' time, I've produced well over 1,800 videos on the subject of blacksmithing, and I have covered just about everything. And I've probably covered some topics twice or thrice times. And so it's my suggestion that you go on the channel, you put in the channel search bar, you look for the video topic that your question in a video format, and I have probably already answered that question at some point in time. I don't mind continuing to answer questions, or because they're going to come up. If you're new, you don't know what you don't know, right? Maybe you just met me for the first time during this live stream. A buddy told you about it, and this is your first time here. You're like, oh, okay, hey, he's not a complete moron. Not complete, that's the key word. And so, sure, I might watch some of this stuff. It's okay to ask those beginner questions. I'm happy to answer the ones I can get around to. If I don't answer that question for you and you still want to know, I guarantee you there's a video on the channel for it. So,
White Sheet Cover Up says, you helped me build my first forced air burner.
Very awesome. Yep, that's another video I did, a forced air burner.
Omega Grizzly says, who is your favorite smith to watch?
Oh. Well, he's a Russian smith. I think he's Russian. Might be Ukrainian, might be, he's Slavic of some kind. I don't know because I don't read that language. But does some really amazing, like a cantus leaf work and gates and grills and railings. I wish I could tell you what his name is, but again, I don't know. I don't read
Not
chicken
language.
letters and numbers and stuff like that are like that long. I have no clue. So, but yeah, he's kind of my favorite smith to watch. I would say person I watch all the time or mostly is a good friend of the channel, John Switzer over at Black Bear Forge. I watch his content a lot. I don't always get to every one of his videos, but I like to check in. Guy, everybody has a hard time with his name, Thunder Bear. I just like to call him that because it's easier than messing up his name, Taborj, Amen, or whatever his name is there. It translates out to Thunder Bear for us, for us one lingual type people, singular lingual, and not even good at that type people. I really like watching his stuff. I watch That Works all the time. I watch a lot of smaller creators, Yamez over at Island Metal Forge. I watch Troy and Eli over at Bar Run Forge. I watch Big Dog Forge. I watch GS Tongs. Glenn over at GS Tongs. Watch his content like all the time. So I wouldn't say I have a favorite out of them. They all put out top-notch stuff, so I like to watch their stuff. Occasionally I'll watch Alex Steele's stuff if it's interesting enough that, you know, he's doing something weird enough that I want to peek in and see what he's doing. Joey Van Dierstig, again, probably mispronouncing that name, but Joey's content's always great. Whenever Mark Asprey puts out a new video, I like watching his content as well. He's not very active on YouTube. Same way with DF in the shop. I like to watch all of his content. I'm just like name drop central, ain't I?
You are. Having them lots of people to look up.
Well, we're going to do some striking here, I think. Well, yeah, go ahead and grab another bag, would you, Thomas?
Charles Humphrey says, just stumbled on the live feed. Do you have a time and date for the live feed? Yes, we do. We have our next live stream scheduled. You will find that date down in the description. Our next live stream is going to be April 15th, and that will be our giveaway live stream.
Yep. Also, for those of you who don't know, I've been struggling with this little blower of mine. It's probably super dirty. I need to clean it out. I got Rob Huff. He's sending me an actual blower, another forge blower. I'll probably get that in a few weeks, or a couple weeks anyhow. He's just across the state line over in Indiana. So until I get that in, we're working with this small blower. I do have a much larger blower, like a, basically it's a dust collector type blower that could really push the air through here, but then I would be screaming and I couldn't hear Jessica at all. So again, that's why we're not using the other blower. So I'm not just kind of dilly-dallying around. I'm waiting for metal to get hot because it's not enough oomph to push up through the coke and get the fire to the temperature I want in order to heat the mass that I'm working with. It's fine. It's been fine for little small odds and end pieces. It's been good for that across the week, but working on big tools, it's just not working out. For that. It did when I first bought the blower. It was fine. 100 CFM was perfect, but now it's decided to kind of derate itself down to, I don't know, it's probably running at like 30 CFM right now. I could probably have Thomas blow on it faster than what's coming out of this forge, so. Yeah.
Less than hair dryer?
No, way less than hair dryer status, so. What else, Jess, we got? And then we're probably ready to hammer.
Question from JJ says, how long have you been blacksmithing?
Good question for you, Jess. You can answer that one.
Since 08. Yep, 2008 is when he started.
Yep. It's 2008, so what's that make it? 8 to 10 is 2 years.
Yeah.
And we're in,
let's see.
that's 10, so that's 12,
years.
so 14.
14, yeah.
Huh?
Yep, 14.
Yep, 14 years. Coming up on 15. 15. Long time, huh?
It is.
And about 10 of that, well, no, more than that, 11 years. 11 years of that 14 have all been professionally, full-time as a smith, so. That's a long time, huh?
You want one more or are you good?
One more, and then we're good.
Steve McAllister says, do you have any advice on checking the specific hardness without having to get calibrated picks or files? Those are kind of spendy.
No, that's about it. I mean, you're going to have to get files at the bare bone minimum if you're going to check hardness. There is a possibility. I mean, you may be able to go to a local machinist in town and see if they have an assayer place that they can check the hardness for you, or they might have files made for a small fee for taking time away from running their machines. They're like, yeah, sure, dude, and they give you a little quick scratch test or something like that. That might be your cheapest option out of everything, but files is considered kind of like the base, the base run for checking hardness on things. The only other way is to say, okay, for in just basic heat treatment, usually you do a file skate test to see if something's hard, but that's not going to tell you what hardness that you're working with. It's just going to tell you that a piece is harder than the file you use to check it with. If you're using a really cruddy file that is, that has been case hardened and it's wore all of its teeth off and it's nothing but soft teeth underneath now, and you go rake it across here, you're like, oh, that thing's hard. And it's not. So it's got to be a good file. And again, it's not going to give you an actual number. It's just going to say, hey, this is harder than this. So this is harder than my Farrier RAS. This is harder than my Nicholson file, or so on and so forth. It's just going to give you a comparison data point than anything else. My suggestion, though, is go to a machine shop and see if they wouldn't mind just checking it out for you. And who knows, maybe while you're there, you say, I'm also an aspiring blacksmith looking for anything like scrap steel, and you might be able to pick up a ton of drops that they'll sell you at just a bit above scrap rate, because when they haul it down there, they get like a nickel a ton. So, they might want to sell you off some drops. It might work out good. All right, Thomas. I'm going to start off by dressing the shoulders, and then we are going to continue to draw this. We're going to slam it down a bit more, and we'll bring it out, and then we'll pull the taper on it. We have the anvil?
Yep, we are.
All right. All right, so I'm going to just dress up my shoulders here a little bit. I don't like them getting all long and ragged. So going to do that to a degree anyhow, but at this stage I find it's helpful to dress them. All right, go ahead and drive it down. So as Thomas is hammering, he is basically following wherever I'm putting my hammer blows. That is what he's doing. So now that we've dressed that back down a little bit, we're going to go ahead and drive this just straight down. We're going to start working this and tapering this out. We'll have to dress it a couple times, but now we're nice and short where we want to be, so now we're going to help start drawing this out. This is going to take a little bit because we're working with a thicker bar stock, and it's really prone to getting fish mouthing, fish lipping. So we'll have to dress those back in and then continue to draw it down in the next heat here. And while we wait for that to heat up, we'll give something else away.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Thomas. Yep. This would go so much quicker, by the way. I just want to say that. If the blower was in great shape, the thing was getting up to full temp like it's supposed to, if I had that other blower up and running, we'd been basically done with this the first evening we were working. But because It's not getting it to the full temp where I want it to be. That's what's taking so long. It's taking an extraordinarily long amount of time to get that good and hot in order to actually work it out. So our heat times are really adding to the cost of doing this job. What we got, Jess?
All right. Have you selected the item you'd like to give away?
I'm going to wipe my nose first. You're going to read a comment.
Sure.
And then I'll select the next item.
Okay. Tim O'Connor says, Jess, what made you buy Roy the Forge, and was he forging before the forge you gave him? After we were married, we went on a date to Carriage Hill Metro Park near Dayton, Ohio area. And they have some different craftsmen that come and do demos on the weekends. And so we were there walking around, and we just stood for a couple of hours at the Blacksmith, and Roy just loved watching it. And he had told me a memory he had from his childhood of doing that exact same thing at that exact same place when he was a kid. He just stood there for like an entire day while his family walked around and saw the other stuff. And he loved watching it, but you know, his parents obviously wouldn't let him forge on hot steel. So later, a couple months later, I had run across Forge at a garage sale, and I had remembered, that day being there with him, and so I bought it for him. So, yep. And Carlos asked what inspired you to get into forging, which is part of that story.
Yep, that was part of that origin story.
Gray Bearded Veteran says, is it economical to use coal over propane for forging?
Great question. It depends on your application. Generally speaking, if you are in coal country, if you are anywhere that you are near a source of fossil fuel like coal or coke or anything of the like there, it is always going to beat out propane or natural gas. Always. It'll beat the sticks off of oil forges, diesel forges, gas forges of any type and descript. It will always be cheaper than those because of the amount of BTUs an hour per pound that this can put out versus propane. So you're always going to be able to, this will always be cheaper until they stop producing it or it comes out of the ground, and then that'll probably swing across the aisle there. If you're clear out west, your options are going to be cheaper for propane. Natural gas is going to be better than you are going to have for coal because you're going to be spending a lot of money in just the trucking to get the coal over to your direction to be able to be used. That being said, where I'm at in the United States, this isn't necessarily coal country up here in Michigan. There is where I'm at. I'm way up in the northern portion of Michigan. So there's not a lot of distribution hubs around. There's just not a lot in the way of that type of industry up here versus like when I was in Ohio, or if you were like in Kentucky where they got mines, or Pennsylvania where they've got mines, or things like that. Any of those that you surround, any of those states, Tennessee, North Carolina, stuff like that, those are going to be really cheap because you go down the mine and get a ton of coal for like $90, from the mine. If you went there to the mine, drove in, they filled up your truck bed, and you drived out, it's going to be like $90. And you can't get propane, the amount of BTUs that can put out for that price. So coal is cheap when it comes to it. When it comes to the actual project, so to speak, like up here, the problem with using gas is not adjustable in the way that you think of like coke or coal is. I can make that fire smaller by putting less air in it and dampening down the sides and basically quenching off the material so it doesn't get so hot that it combusts. So I can actually reduce the size of my fire pot or my heated area to work on small things like nail rods that I can stick 2 or 3 in the fire at one time if I'm making nails, Or like in the big gigantic saw blade bowl for that sawmill, I was able to rake my fire out and get it really large in order to heat big areas of that saw blade bowl up in order to sink it and form it, right? And to raise that bowl. So it's adjustable. So in that case, more air, bigger fire, we were spending more fuel, more consumables, it was costing us. But if we could have fit it in the gas forge, it might have been better if we had a big enough gas forge to put it in the gas forge. We would have had maybe less time on it once we had grown up to that size. But in my gas forge, I have a 3-burner forced air gas forge made by Menkel Gas Forges. That gas forge, if you're just taking and sticking something in there, like, you know, a few of these, right? A few of these rivet headers, or you've got 50 of them sitting in there, it still has wasted heated space that's just kind of billowing out heat out to the atmosphere, and it's not actually doing the work anymore, right? Like it's got wasted material that comes out the front end of it. So if you were working 1/4-inch nail rods in that thing and you only got 3 nail rods in that thing's going to eat you out of house and home, because it can burn through a 100-pound cylinder in about 10 hours at full bore. So 100 pounds ain't cheap. It's not cheap. So whatever I'm doing in that, I've got to be running production things. I've got to have multiples of things in it to bring the cost per item of that fuel down. So it's really based upon what you're using it for and how. Now let's say if I was trying to make a hammer, for instance. I was trying to make a hammer. This is just a really good question. I'm delving in a little deeper to this than I would, just because I get asked this all the time. So it's a really great question. Say I was making a hammer, right? If I was just making a hammer, singular hammer, coal and coke all day long, because I only need to produce 1 hammer, not a big deal. But say if I was trying to make 10 hammers, right? 10 hammers, gas all day long. Try to work with this. Max you can fit in hammers is maybe 2 of them in the fire at any one given time, and maybe 2 like warming up like bread in an oven off to the sides of the fire, and that's the best you could do with a coke forge or coal forge. Versus a gas forge, you could load that, stack that sucker up full of hammers and get them all hot at the same time. So it really depends on what you're using it for. Generally speaking, if you can get a coal forge, they're going to be cheaper in the long run as long as you have access to the materials. If you've got a gas forge, you have to buy a gas forge that is appropriately sized to the material that you're working. So that means you have to own more gas forges than the versatility of the coal forge. So that factors in too. We have the little Mr. Volcano forge over there. I had Thomas working on and selling horseshoe nail hooks, and you won't want to put that in a big 3-burner gas forge. You can't work the nail hooks fast enough. Heck, the Mr. Volcano's too big just about to work nail hooks. You can't work them fast enough for the amount of heated volume that's in there. So it would even be better to even have like a soup can forge for something that small. But you build the forge according to the work, and you buy the forge according to the work when it comes to gas forges. If you have to take and heat up a big gigantic anvil, do you think I'm going to do it in the coke forge? No, gas all the way, baby, because I need a big gigantic oven basically I can slip an anvil into, right? And in that case, you're heating up a lot of mass. Maybe put 5 or 6 anvils in that humongous forge with your 20 million BTUs that it's going to take to heat that sucker up, and then you're in business. But that's kind of really where it's at as far as economics of forges. Coal will generally always beat it out if it was just 1-to-1 on the ratio of price. I answered that question in depth. Hopefully everybody enjoys it. And again, I have videos. I've rehashed this probably 4 or 5 different times on the channel. Which one's better? In my shop, a tool is exactly that. It's a tool. It's a tool to get work done. It's not the same as like the hobbyist mindset of like, this tool has got to do it all. This is going to be the thing that stops me from buying any future tools. I already know that's wrong. I've had all different shape sizes, forges, gas forges, coal forges. I've had small ones, I've had big ones, I've had industrialized ones, I've had ones that I've built for just one job and then tore them down. So I've got a lot of experience in that department. It's a tool. It's a tool to get the work done, so whatever tool is right for the job. Don't use a wrench where you need a screwdriver. Don't use a screwdriver where you need a wrench. And no, a scrunch won't work. There is no scrunches. This is actually pretty hot now, surprisingly. It found a hot spot.
Good.
No. No, it's fine. Go ahead, hon. What's going on? Good?
Oh, yes. Yes, the Mr. Volcanoes are back in stock. I looked at them today.
Yep.
So, yep.
You got the link for that, Jess?
I do, down in the description below.
Click through the link in the description down below, and we get a little affiliate commission if you go through there.
Jerry Witt says...
Not a sponsor. Hashtag not a sponsor, but they should be. I don't know what their problem is. We've sent enough business their way.
Jerry Witt says, just bought a Mr. Volcano because of your tutorial.
Well, awesome. Glad to hear it. I have a video coming out very soon on economies of scale. It's something that I've been preaching about a little bit. Yeah, it sums up perfectly how Mr. Volcano gas forges could be so cheap. All right, we ready?
Yes, we are, babe.
I'm going to do the forging real quick because we found a hot spot, ladies and gentlemen. We found a hot spot. Oh, glory day. Oh. All right, we're going to dress the side, and then we're going to keep drawing out. We're going to dress the side. We're going to drive the fish lips back in, and then we're going to keep drawing out. So we're just dressing the side pucker that we've got. That's good. I'm going to dress the fish lips. Okay. Go ahead and knock that over. That's good. Go ahead. Stop. So during this process, if you're working with a striker, it's important to remember that you're not the one striking. You need to give your striker time to breathe. Then I'll take more of that pucker out later on. And slowly but surely, we're developing this. Now, if I had some top fullers, I would be using a fuller right now, a handheld top fuller to actually set on there with a bottom fuller to pull this material out a lot easier and isolate that material and draw that down. I don't, so we're just doing it like this. There's a lot more efficient ways of doing this. Me and Thomas, we've only been working with each other since the first of the year, well, tail end of last year and the first of the year this year. So we have not had the opportunity to take and build up the Smith & Striker tools that we need. Prior to that, I've been all solo in my shop. So I haven't had the need to have any top tools or hand tools like this. I have top tools and hand tools for the power hammer, but those don't translate over to the anvil. Continue, Jess.
Mustanger said, I was going to ask the best way to stop the fish mouthing if you don't have a flatter.
Just hammer them back with your regular hand hammer. Generally speaking, and I kind of got out of order on this, to be truthful, I got out of order on this. I should have back chamfered it. So whenever you're working on really thick bar stock, it's a little late for me to do that now, but whenever you're working with really thick bar stock that you're going to try to taper down, you need to basically think of like forging a pyramid head on the end of the bar and then working it out forward a little bit and then forging that pyramid head back on the end of the bar, and you keep drawing it out. I have a video on that on the channel of undertaking large bar stock by yourself to stop the fish mouthing from happening. The reason why the fish mouth happens in the first place is because the top surface of the material and the bottom surface of the material are getting displaced at a faster rate than the center of your mass of material. And what that is caused from is not having enough throughput of kinetic energy to actually squeeze out that center material like a tube of toothpaste would. So what happens is if you come in with really light blows, like hand hammer by yourself, right? I don't even care if it's a big heavy hammer. What happens is you're hitting on it, but you're not hitting it with enough oomph or enough throughput of material to send it straight to the core of that material. So you're just working the surfaces. So you're displacing the surface material and not so much the core. So the way that you get around that is by beveling back those potential fish mouths to begin with. That allows the core to be peaked in the center, and then you drive it down some, and then it's going to kind of square back up, and it'll try to fish lip on you. You drive that back down like a pyramid, and then you continue to compress it, and as you do that, it's going to try to square back up in fish mouth again, and you just repeat, wash, rinse, repeat that process until you get the thing drawn out to the appropriate, diameter or whatever you're going for there, the appropriate taper on the end of the bar. That has been the only way that I found to prevent the fish lipping, other than hitting it with something heavier than your purse. So I hit it with my purse all the time because it's only 1 3/4 pound hammer. And even with as hard as Thomas is wailing on this thing, it's still fish mouthing a little bit. So we need a much heavier hammer, like a power hammer, to draw this out. Something probably even heavier than 70 pounds. Probably need about 125 pound power hammer to work on something like this and have enough throughput energy that it just squishes that out right out the end. But Thomas is not a 125 pound power hammer. No, he's a 190 pound power hammer. That's weak. That needs his seals replaced.
All right.
He's got to go over there and work out. All right, what else, Jess? And then we're going to give something away before this gets back up to heat.
Mary Hutner sent a super sticker of a lemon taking a bow and said, a small gift for your great information.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated.
Adam Sonham says, thank you for doing this.
Very welcome. Very welcome. Love doing it. Love teaching. All right, let's give something away, Jess.
All right.
Let's not just give any old thing away. Let's give away the new Spruce Forge Manual of Locksmithing by Artisan Ideas. Written by Bill Morrison, which again, I know. I actually took a class with him. Not with him specifically, but he was in a class with me and Tom Latney and I believe it was, yeah, that was right? Wasn't Douglas Pryor's class, was it?
Yeah, it was Douglas's class.
It was Douglas's class, yep.
Yep.
Douglas Pryor's class. So Tom Latney wasn't there. No, I'm remembering a different event. But yeah, Bill, good guy. And Dennis at DF in the Shop. So they co-authored this thing. Really great book. Like I said, be on the lookout for my full review of this thing. We're giving this away. We're going to go to camera number 2 so they can see that.
All right.
So we're going to draw a name for this. Thank you, Artisan Ideas, for sending this out. there's a link to their website down in the description. We don't get any payment or anything for you going and clicking through that link, but you can go check out this book and all the other books that they have over at Artisan Ideas. Yeah, I said that right. Artisan Ideas. You can find all that over there. Again, I can attest right now, very well done. Very well done. So we're going to go ahead and draw for that.
All right.
We're looking for somebody with the word book in their
Yep.
thing, okay?
Okay.
Let me watch this thing, make sure it's not burning up. Multitasking. Look at me go. Look like I'm a blacksmith or something. All right, let's go to main cam.
Okay.
Are we ready?
We are.
Get steady. Go. Who do we have?
We have MG Walker 79 with Bookity Book Book Book.
MG Walker 79, book. Congratulations. You got this book. So get with us through the contact email down in the description down below, and we will get this shipped out to you probably on Monday. Oh, and thank you again, Artisan Ideas, for sending this over so we could give it away during the live stream. Greatly appreciated. And if you do go over there and you do decide to purchase some books, let them know who sent you. Let them know who sent you. I need to put this someplace. Someplace is safe.
Over here, maybe?
Put it over here. Hold on. Just put it right here.
Just so you know, we are about 20 minutes from 7 o'clock.
20 minutes from 7 o'clock. Can you believe it?
Mm-hmm. And we currently have 129 viewers.
Yeehaw! All right. I can keep them here as long as I like because I'm giving things away.
That's right.
That's the way it works.
MG Walker says, woohoo, thank you.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. Congratulations. Again, 24 hours. Get with us. Contact email down in the description or it'll get given to somebody else. There's your warning. That goes to all of you schluffs out there. Like, well, I'll get with them on Monday. I'm going to go ahead and check out for the evening. Monday, it's been sent to somebody else. All right. Next up, Jess, let's give away some stickers.
All right.
Shall we?
Yes.
All right, we're going to give away some sticker packs. Yeah?
Yep.
And they are going to have this lovely Year of the Forge sticker in them. The most coveted Year of the Forge. Look at that art graphic there. My daughter draws so nicely, so beautifully. She's a real artist. She's the real talent in this family. So, so we're going to go ahead and draw for some stickers now. So I'm going to give this away. And then, what?
Oh, I was going to say, those are from Dana Maggiore.
Yep.
So if anybody needs stickers for your shop to have made up, you can email him. His email's in the description as well.
Yep. Definitely go check out Dana Maggiore. Great guy, great stickers. He is the best. He's the best. Let's not get that started during the stream. All right. We're at the main cam? Let's go back to the main cam.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to give away some Year of the Forge stickers. Let's do about 3 of them. Sound good?
Sure.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, go. First name, Jess.
We landed on Carlos Sandoval.
Carlos Sandoval, congratulations. You are the first winner of one of our sticker packs. Get with us. Contact email. You know the drill. Down in the description. Ready to go again?
Yes, we are.
Who's the second person, Jess?
We have Aaron Nelson Music with stickers for water bottle toolboxes in my head.
Aaron Nelson
Music.
Music. Yep. Congratulations, Aaron Nelson Music. You are the second winner of a nice sticker pack. We'll see how many stickers we can send to you to cover up your various body parts there, good sir. Or ma'am, whatever, Aaron, I don't know. Anyways, let's move on.
Okay.
Who do we have?
We have a Joshua Rivas with stickers, please.
Joshua what?
Rivas.
Rivas. Riv something. Joshua, congratulations. You are the third winner of a sticker pack there. All right. And then we're going to do something else. We're going to do these a little bit special. We're going to do 3 of these. Sound good?
Yes.
We'll do 3 of these separate. So, Troy and Eli and Dana and who knows, a whole bunch of other their co-conspirators over at Bar Run Forge came up with this funny little sticker here that can actually go on a flux box. Are we at the main cam, secondary cam? Where are we?
Secondary cam.
Let's go to the secondary
there we
cam.
Go.
Can they see that okay?
Yep.
So they made up this. Everybody knows that I've become the kind of the anti-flux guy, even though I do use that F word from time to time in my shop, but I use very little of it. And so as a funny gag, they gave me this, the Christ-centered Ironworks blacksmithing flux. And Dana made these up. It says, caution, may cause excessive irritation to Roy Adams. So this will actually fit perfectly on a box of 20 Mule Team borax. So if you want to have an official branded flux box from Christ-centered Ironworks, you can get one of these stickers. So I'm going to go ahead and draw three different people now for that.
And if they haven't already seen it, check out the infomercial.
Yeah, and if you haven't already seen it, you have to go check out the infomercial over at Bar Run Forge that he did for it. It's top notch. It was pretty darn hilarious. So it's kind of an inside joke around the blacksmithing community. If you're not up to date on it, you soon will be. So we at the main cam?
Yes, we are.
All right, let's go ahead and draw for it. And
Okay.
this thing is hot, so I'm gonna have to get back after it.
All right.
Who do we have?
We have Alan Murdoch with Gimme, Gimme, Gimme.
Alan Murdoch, congratulations. You've been given excellence, good sir. One of these flux, you're the first winner. Let's go to winner number 2. Let's see her.
All right.
Who's winner number 2, Jess?
Tim O'Connor with Flux stickers.
Tim O'Connor, congratulations. You got a nice flux sticker. Wear it proudly on your favorite box of 20 Mule Team borax. And let's go for number 3, shall we?
Yes.
Who do we have?
We have Christian Honeycutt with Sticker of Flux.
Christian Honeycutt, congratulations. You're the 3rd winner of the sticker of flux. Again, display that proudly on your favorite box of 20 Mule Team borax. Everybody give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. All right, this is hot. Now we forge. Let's
Now we
go.
forge.
Anvil cam, babe.
Yep. Already there.
Very hot. A little too hot for my likings.
Can I murder accurately?
Go. Okay, dress those back. Dress those edges back. So what we're doing here is dressing the edges back. Just like I said, go down on these sides. Don't worry about bumping it back in order. We'll do that later. No, up. Come down at it. Bevel it. Well, there's a little pucker in the center. Well, and this is the bevel I was talking about. We're just upsetting a bevel on this to put that center mass out front. All right, and then next heat, nope. Next heat, we're going to dress up the side swell and we're going to continue to forge out. This thing's finally found its heat. It's actually getting hot. About time.
We have a question from Adam Stoneham who says, I'm doing cable. Any tips on keeping it from getting cold shuts or delaminations?
He's doing cable.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm not a Damascus guy. Generally speaking, whenever you're working with cable, think of it that you have to take and do everything like a twist, because that's basically what cable is. It's a twist. It's just a big long twist of strands of wire. The individual strands are a twist. All the strands put together to turn it into a cable are a twist. So from what I have found, just by watching YouTube videos, seeing other guys doing it, playing with a bit of cable myself, you have got to take and open that cable up a little bit, get it good and clean, so you need to soak it out, make sure there's no junk in it. You need to make sure you soak it out really good with your favorite acid, or some people use like kerosene or diesel or some other stuff to burn things off or out of it. You got to get it really good and clean first, and then your actual first welding heats and things like that on cable, generally that I have seen, and that the method I have followed before, is you twist it. So you bring it out super hot and you twist it. So you twist it together, and that kind of pulls all those strands tighter together. And then when you hammer on it, you actually have to follow that spiral so you don't end up, you know, loosening up the cable. So you spin, say if it was going clockwise, you spin counterclockwise as you're hammering, right? You spin counterclockwise as you're hammering, and that keeps all those fibers tight together, and preferably in, say, a 60-degree or at very least a 90-degree swedge. You want to take and use one of those. So that's how I've seen it done. That's how I have done it with success. If that's what you're going for whatever particular look that you're working after. But
He says it's a nightmare. Thanks so much.
you're very welcome. Another thing I see guys doing wrong all the time, and this I'll just say is wrong right out the gate, and this is where I get that reputation of being an anti-flux guy. When you are forge welding, you need to understand what flux is for. Flux is not metal glue. It does not glue anything together. It's not there to take and protect the surface from air. That's not flux primary purpose. Flux is a detergent. The best way I can explain it is it is a detergent. It is there to eat the scale of the surface oxides that are sitting on the material that are being built up, and through capillary action, it pulls and draws those to the edges of the weld so they could be more easily expelled with a hammer blow. When you put flux on a piece of material, it will wet into the material. It will soak through, and that is its job. It's doing its work. It's doing its job. So you sprinkle the flux on, it wets into the material, it carries through the material as it carries the scale to the outside of the joint, and junk and garbage that's in there, assuming that you didn't just have it soaked in motor oil for the last week. It pulls that material, that oxygenated material, to the edges of the weld in order for you to have clean material to weld together. That is the job, the primary function of flux. Everything else that you hear out there is completely secondary. It's completely secondary. If it blocks out some oxygen from getting at the weld, that is a secondary function. That is not its primary function. That's not what it's there for. So you see these guys with great big spoons and just dump buckets and running it up and down inside of a flux can, stuff like that. That is all just completely wasted energy, and it also hurts the weld. You can actually trap material doing that, because what is it not doing if it's surrounded on all sides like a big blanket with flux all the way around? No capillary action can happen. It has no place to flow to. There's no place for it to run out of the joint and bring the scale to. It's already plugged up, so to speak. So don't overflux things. It's not needed. Sprinkle your flux on there. Let it soak in and work itself through the piece, and you will get more consistent results with your forge welds without getting all the inclusions and garbage. Because chances are you're soaking it down. Sitting there with your flux spoon. How many YouTube videos? How many demonstrations at Blacksmith Club meets? How many times have you seen somebody doing this? Every heat. What it does is it puts a candy coating on there that blocks out all oxygen. That's wrong. It's not how physics works. That's not what it was designed to do. How many times do you see that happen? It's completely incorrect. That's not what flux does. It's not what it's meant for. Flux is a cleaning agent. So now that you know that secret, I challenge each and every last one of you. Prove me wrong. Go out to your own forge and try it. Try welding without flux. Tell me if it's needed. Another old wives' tale. I'm going on a Roy rant right now. Enjoy the ride. Another old wives' tale is you can't weld in a dirty forge fire. I weld all the time in a dirty forge fire. If I had to take, like, it's a process. Like, the thing is in constant change of state. That fire is. There's never homeostasis achieved. There's none of that. It is a constant working down of turning to ash, right? The thing is on fire. It's melting out its impurities that are in there, the sands, and mostly sand that's still trapped in it, right? Things like that, and it's flowing down to the bottom of your fire pot to create a clink, to be cooled by the air, to create a clinker, right? And then that plugs up your airflow, which then increases your air, because now you're like, hey, I'm not getting enough air through here. Let me crank up the oxygen. And it's the oxygen that scales up your material and stops it from welding. It's not the clinker that's sitting at the bottom. This hammer right here, for example, I have had this hammer in my possession and I have forged with it for 9 years. This is a wrought iron hammer with 1045 steel faces welded in on it, both in the peen and on the hammer face. This was welded in a forge fire after I did a lot of practice with other things so I didn't ruin this bit of material. This was forge welded in a forge fire where when I pulled out, when this was fully finished up, I pulled out the clinker at the end of the day and there was a thumb size hole in the center of that was not clinker. That's where all the air blast was coming through, was that thumb size hole. And so it's completely nonsense. The clinker, you clearing out your clinkers every 5 seconds, it's nonsense, waste of time. The oxygen in the environment, the scale, the iron oxide, that's what prevents your welds. So there you go. Rant over for now, because this is hot.
They were enjoying it.
Were they?
Yes, Tim O'Connor's like, finally. They didn't think they're going to get a good Roy rant this year.
Where's my brown paper bag? Oh, all right, Thomas, you ready? All right, we'll brush this real quick. Dropped it.
Drop forge.
Dropped it. Good thing it's a thick piece of material, huh? All right, we're going to hit just the edge there. You coming on a taper? Taper it.
Down.
Yep. Drop your hammer handle down. Now bring it up. Flat. Now down. Now flat. Well, you're leaning here and see how it's drawing that, so you're pinching it. You can change to a hammer that you can swing a little bit better. Aim for this side that's not stretched out. Well, now come up flat on it. Now aim for that side. Well, no. It's getting all crooked-fied there. There are some of those right now that are watching this video that are probably like, good God, man, I could have had that done in like 3 heats. We'll just blame it on Thomas.
Well,
All right.
with that being said, though, bigger hammer doesn't always mean better. Just learned that right now. And also the faces of your hammer, I also can see. This
Yep.
has a little bit of a dome to it,
Yep.
where this one's a little bit flatter. I don't know if they can
Yeah,
see that so much.
camera too, Jess.
Yep.
Flatter one's a lot better, and I can control it a lot better.
Oh.
Rigid Ironworks, thank you for the $20 super chat.
Thank you,
Says-
Rigid Ironworks.
Just wanted to say, beautiful work on the copper piece you did recently. How many hours do you have into it so far?
About 16 hours of my own labor, 8 hours of Thomas's, so whatever that is.
24?
Yep, about 24 hours into it, and just the hammer work so far. Oh, that's forging time. So that's not all the time we've spent quoting the work, not all the time spent cutting out, getting the material, sourcing it, cutting it out, stuff like that. That's all extra time that would be on top of that. So I'd say there's probably 36 hours in the job in total right now. So, and that is not the 90%. That is, I'll show the bowl here. This is the equivalent of about 20% of the labor that'll be in this piece. So, if you're wondering, this is, yeah, it's forged, but that's the easiest part of this process. The hard parts comes to the finish work. That's what takes that from being a say $500-600 item and turns it into a $2,000 to $3,000 item is the finish work.
Shopcats Forge sent a $5 super chat and says, got to love those Roy rants. Keep up the good fight.
Will do. Will do.
And Brian Howman sent a $2 super chat, says, less yakking, more whacking.
Never going to get that this stream, so we're not all action around here. We're a whole lot of talk. That's a good song.
Uncle Buck's Forge says, I'm sure glad to see Chrysler Ironworks is making guillotine tools. I have had a lot of requests for them since I quit making them.
Who?
Uncle Buck's Forge.
Uncle Buck, good to have you. I am glad to. Oh, they're a great tool. They're a great tool to have.
Jim Mitchell says, just purchased the new Spruce Forge Manual of Locksmithing through your link in the description. Looks like a very interesting book. Thank you.
Very awesome. I don't think you'll regret it, sir. Don't think you'll regret it at all. Oh. Yeah, so, yeah, the guillotine tools that we've been giving away, that we've been selling over our website, www.blacksmithingblanks.com. We actually got Uncle Buck's Forge's designs for those, and I've had to kind of make some of my own little alterations on it. His were a little bit thicker. His were out of a little thicker material because he had access to that at a good price. I have to go with a slightly thinner material. His was 3/8, mine's 1/4 inch. So I had to go just a fuzz thinner to make it the same price with today's world that we're living in. And you know, to keep the price low enough that it's actually a reasonable option for somebody to purchase. And so, you know, but yeah, so Uncle Buck, thank you for those, sir. All your drawings and whatnots. It's been very handy. Oh, we have not even begun to scratch the surface of any of those either. It's just like mainly these two. So far, thus far. So, all right, Jess.
Yes.
Let's do our Instagram and our Facebook giveaway. Does that sound fair?
Yep.
Let's do that now while we're at it. So This next giveaway, this isn't for the YouTube community. This is people who have shared our posts on Instagram and Facebook. So we're going to draw the names and the winners for those for this next one. I do, however, have a guillotine tool that I'll be giving away as well for you all here. So don't get all chuffed off and leave like, fine, he's not giving me one of those. We'll be giving away one of our closed guillotine tools, and it'll come shipped to you like this. You can go camera number 2, Jess.
All right.
I swear, officer, it's not mine. Regardless of what that looks like, no, that's not what we're shipping you. We're going to be doing one of our closed guillotine tools. Thomas, on that rack behind you, I've got the guillotine tools. You flip around there. Can you hand me them? C-frame, guillotine, right directly in front of you. There you go.
I can't read, okay?
I can't read, good. So this is the one we'll be giving away for the YouTube community. It's this type of guillotine tool. It comes flat packed to you like that. And this is what it ends up making. You can watch our videos on that. Obviously, comes with a 1-inch Hardy shank. Comes with this one here. Comes with 1/2 inch by 1.5 inch dies, mild steel. And all you gotta do is weld it up together yourself. And then the other one that we'll be giving away is, this is the ones that we'll be giving away for the Facebook ones. Now, is this C-frame guillotine tool. You guys have seen it. If you haven't watched the video on it, me putting it together, we're gonna be giving that one away as well there. So, all right, we ready?
Yes, we are.
So we'll do that. So again, you can hold your commenting and like pick me, because these first two are not for you to say pick me. So we're going to go ahead and give those away. Let me check this, make sure this hasn't found another hot spot. It has. Let's go and give these away.
Also, a quick thank you to John Mahoney, who sent a $10 super chat and said, thanks for doing this.
Thank you, John. You greatly appreciated. I love doing this work. So the ones in here are Instagram, right? The ones that are just in the open basket?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to draw them first, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll dump in all of our Facebook names for drawing in the hat here second. All right? So I've got a bunch of names in here. I'm going to look away. I'm going to stir them up here, okay? We're going to just draw one random winner there. And again, this is from our post. So it pays to pay attention for when we post stuff on Instagram and Facebook. It pays to pay attention and do things like that. You can help this channel out a great deal just for free, just by sharing the stuff that we post. If we post a new video, share it. Share it around the internet. Like, it really does help out a channel like you wouldn't believe. If people don't share our stuff, no one knows we're here. Eventually everything dries up and shrivels away, and then we can't do these things anymore. So we need your help to do that just as much as we need the help financially to keep these things for the shipping and everything else. So if you can't contribute in that way, no worries. You can contribute in the way of just a simple like and share and comment. It's a huge deal to the lifeblood of a YouTube community. So, all right. Oh no! I lost 2. They were just jumping out of the basket. They said, pick us. All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and draw one name here. And again, this is for Instagram. Okay. For those who shared. And drum roll. Let's see here. We are going to be giving the first C-frame guillotine away to Burgers Blades. B-E-R-G-E-R-S Blades. And he shared it to @VikingChefForge. So thank you very much. You are the first winner of the C-frame. We'll get in touch if he's not here. Hopefully he is here, huh?
Yeah, hopefully.
Are we at the main cam?
Yes, we are now.
You were at the secondary cam, weren't you, the whole
time? Just for a minute when you were holding it up.
Oh, yeah, they can't really read it from there, I don't think.
No, not really.
No, you can't really read it. It's all blinded out. But it is Burgers Blade. I'm going to hand that to Jessica. Yep. That is for the first C-frame guillotine. All right. So that's from our Instagram. So thank you to everybody who shared during the Instagram thing. I want to dump the rest of you out like you were nothing. Just like that. Hold on. There's an extra one in there. It was hiding. in the corner of the basket. It's like, they won't find me in here. All right, now this is to Facebook. This is for all the people in Facebook. We'll drop that down in there. Boom, we got them all in there. There was surprisingly a lot less people in Facebook.
But the reach,
I'm not very active on Facebook.
The reach was actually slightly higher on that reach was actually slightly higher on Facebook.
On Facebook than Instagram?
Yep.
But most people didn't share, so well, that's a problem for them. Great for the person who's about to win, right? All right, looking away, using my hand around, making it fair. I got one, I think.
Got one.
We're gonna pull this out, and we're gonna read it. Ha! So we got a, I think she's actually here. She or he, Ashley Vanderwall.
Ashley Vanderwall?
Ashley Vanderwall. Yep. Congratulations, Ashley Vanderwall. You're the winner of the second C-frame guillotine tool for the Facebook thing giveaway. Can I dump those out now?
Yeah, that's fine. I just need the one for the winner.
So don't throw that in there?
No, don't. Need to write down the specific spelling.
Boom. All right. There's Ashley Vanderwall.
Thank you.
I thought I saw her in here. She, he, it, whoever's, wherever's.
Fingers One says, Thomas the hand model should have grabbed the name.
Yeah, he should have. That would have played well, huh? Mm-hmm. He could have shown his hand model skills. All right, so there's the C-frames. Gave away those. Good to go. All right, while we're here, let's give away the A-frame. And then this thing's hot. We need to get back to forging on it.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
So you guys don't feel left out here on our lovely, wonderful YouTube community. Now we're going to draw a name from the comment section to win our A-frame guillotine toolkit. So we'll go ahead and give one of those away.
Yep. And Mustanger, thank you for the pear super sticker.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Are we ready?
Yes, we are.
They were commenting "pick me" the whole time, weren't they?
A few people were.
A few people
Most
were.
of them
They
were
didn't
paying
get the memo, did
attention,
they?
though. No.
Okay, now's the time to take and put your pick me's in the comment section. Because we're going to give away one of these A-frames to somebody here in the YouTube community.
And if your comment's getting blocked, just put a space somewhere in the word guillotine.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean was saying it was blocking some comments for that. So yeah, just stick a random space in there.
Yeah, stick a random space in the word guillotine. G-illotine or something, or whatever word you could do. Just put gill in there.
Gill.
We'll pick you one way or the other. We'll find out. Ready?
Yes.
Set. Let's go. Who do we have?
All right, we have Roger Caldwell with guillotine.
Roger Caldwell, congratulations. You are the winner of the A-frame, or the enclosed guillotine tool there. Get with us through the contact email in the description of this video. We will get that shipped out to you Monday, sir. All right, Thomas, you ready? All right, I'm going to continue to taper. If you're drawing that side, you need to tilt your hammer so you're not drawing to the side that's too long. Whoa. Go ahead and drive this here. Good. Don't murder it. Just focus on accuracy. We'll get this pup trained eventually. Follow the hammer blows. See how I'm hitting? Follow that with your hammer blows.
Mountain Home Forge, take care.
Take care, Mountain Home Forge. Thanks for being here. Good enough.
Carlos Creates says, when is Jess going to be in the forge? I actually was last weekend.
Nope. Good enough.
I do some cold forging
Thank
on
you,
copper.
Thomas.
And so I was working on some copper cross necklace pendants that I had a couple of orders for. So I was out here, and
Yeah.
I'll be out again soon. I have some little Michigan bowls that I need to make up. So
Yep. Yeah, Jessica gets out quite often when she wants to. So.
which is a little less often in the winter.
Huh?
So it's been a little less often in the winter. I'll be a little more inclined when
Yeah.
it's a little warmer.
If you haven't guessed, she's not exactly a cold bug.
No.
She's a heat bug. Oh.
David Bellagarden says, I have a question. What do you recommend on the size of bar stock for someone starting out?
Nothing over 5/8 inch material. So, nothing over 5/8 inch, let me be more specific, square material. Stay below that. You're working with, you need to develop your practice and hammer blows and hammer accuracy. So from 1/4 inch up to 5/8. So you should have a good selection of 1/4 inch, 3/8 material, both square, round, 1/2 inch material, then 5/8 material, all square, round. Give yourself some inch by 1/4 inch flat bar stock as well if you have any sort of want for pursuit of doing scroll work or things like that. That's a very handy size to work with. 3/4 is a little more difficult to find by 1/4 inch, but you can, stuff like that. But yeah, don't go over the size of 5/8 inch square. If you're just getting going at it, you're going to have a terrible time because you haven't worked out you haven't built up the muscle and the stamina to do the work for a consistent period of time that it would take for a much thicker piece of material. And B, you haven't worked up the forging progression yet. You haven't learned the baby steps yet of being able to pull something out methodically at the anvil. And so therefore you need to learn those first, and then you can move up to larger bar stock and be able to do it more advantageously. Now you can just jump in, you can avoid all of that advice if you want. And there's people who are saying, how dare he say that you can't forge over 5/8 if you're a beginner? He's being exclusive. No, it's just, it's a waste of your muscle energy and potential injury to yourself to be working larger stock like that when you're just coming up to this at the first beginning. So that's my advice to you on that. My advice for all beginners is think of this. We oftentimes forget that this is a very physical craft. So just like you wouldn't go up to some deadlift bar and start picking 1,000 pounds off the ground, you can't jump into blacksmithing and start swinging the largest hammer at the largest piece of material you can find. You're not Hercules, no matter what your wife tells you. You're not Hercules. Simmer it down, start with the fundamentals, and work your way up from there.
Xavier, yes, I am going to read a poem or story at the end. I'm going to read the classical one by Under the Spreading Chestnut Tree. Spencer Coote said, hardware stores don't sell square stock.
Hardware stores don't? Mm-hmm. Well, don't buy it from a hardware store. Buy what you can round. Source what you can get elsewhere. Find some local fab shops, some welding shops, and see if they've got extra bar stock they wouldn't mind selling you. I'm sure they would. At whatever price there is, I'm sure they're like, yeah, we'll cut you whatever you need. You know, they're looking for a little extra business. A lot of them are, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind just running over to the chop saw and chopping you off a 4-foot length of something. You know, that's a great thing about being a beginner and being a hobbyist at this craft, is you can basically get by on just about anything. Scraps and materials and in cuts of things and whatever. You know, somebody's cleaning out their barn and found some random rebar laying around. You as a beginner, as a hobbyist, you can make use of that quite readily. Once you progress up to the point where you might be doing something for a business, then it's a subject of trying to make sure that you have a regular, reproducible product that you can offer, and you just can't do that by just picking up random bits of material somewhere off the side of the roadway. But as a hobbyist, score! I just found a wrench that came off some plumber's truck bouncing down the freeway. I'll turn that into something. You know, sure, grab it. You know, oh, look, there's a bit of plumbing pipe over there laying in the field. I can use that. And I've got plenty of scrap stuff like that, and I have scrapped a bunch of scrap stuff like that I'm like, I'm never going to use this in a million years. And it's just taking up space. That's the benefit of being a beginner. It doesn't have to be brand new. It doesn't have to be dimensional either. It can be some other dimension. You are a blacksmith. You can reshape it and resize it to what you need to do in the context of a hobbyist.
Kyle Jones says, how thick is the copper that you use?
The copper thickness that I am using, it varies. I've got thinner material. This happens to be 10 gauge material, or thicker than 1/8 of an inch, about a 64th thicker than 1/8 inch material.
A couple of Damascus questions for you.
Go to the anvil real quick.
Sure.
I'm fine, Thomas. I'm just going to dress up our rhombus here. Go ahead. Damascus questions?
Would you do a copper Damascus build?
Probably not.
And also, do you ever Damascus for decorative or architectural ironwork?
No, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. It's like, do you ever do?
Do you ever Damascus? It's a verb.
Do you do the Damascus?
It's a verb
No,
now.
I don't.
Damascus stuff.
Closest thing I've ever done to that was a little sculpture. It was a little memorial sculpture for a gravesite marker. That was it was a mokame, or mokame gani, whatever you call it. I'm not Japanese, so I don't care. Basically copper nickel mixture, twist, filled, inlaid into a Damascus cross. So that's the closest I ever came to taking and doing anything for architecture work. I do know a guy by the name of Nick Ayres. I don't know how to pronounce his last name either. It's I-R-E-Y-S is how it's spelt, but Ayres, I believe, is what it is. But he's done quite a bit of like kinetic sculptures, and he has done some architectural work using Damascus steel. So yes, you can use it outside the confounds of, you know, bladesmithing and things like that. I'm not a huge Damascus person just because it doesn't interest me. I've done Damascus. I've done mokame. I've done mokame bowls to a decent size. I've done Damascus work before, but it was just kind of like, oh, well, that's cool. That might come in handy someday. I might make a button or whatever with it, but it's never really took off for me. It seems like a hell of a lot of work just to end with a square block of steel back at the beginning. I'd much rather spend my time forming material and getting metal to flow in unique, interesting ways that gives life to a piece versus trying to get some neat pattern on a surface of material. So Damascus has never held great appeal to me. Yeah. So that's where I stand on that. Nothing against anybody who wants to make Damascus or do Damascus or whatever. There's plenty of you out there that like that sort of thing, but that's not been my bag of worms.
Jerry What says yes, but have you done the Macarena?
I have indeed.
Let's see.
I have done all the white guy dances.
Jonathan Houghton says, I'm involved in Trail Life USA with my boys, which is a Christian version of Boy Scouts. My 13-year-old son and I are taking Blacksmithing 101 course at a forge connected with a semi-local museum in May. Glad we found your channel. We will be binging some of your tutorial videos before that class begins to get a head start.
Very cool. Well, congratulations on starting something really cool with your, he said his boys, right?
Yep.
Congratulations starting with your sons, you know, having something neat to do. That's awesome.
Carlos asked,
Thank you for being part of the channel. Good.
Carlos asked, what advice would you give someone to starting out wanting to blacksmith?
Advice starting out wanting to blacksmith. This one's an easy one because I get it all the time. Start with your fundamentals. Your fundamentals of forging. Let me grab them. We might just have to finish this thing back off in another stream, won't we?
Yeah, it's 7:30.
7:30, okay. The thing's decided not to find a hot spot anymore. Which is good. It's probably a good time to just give a bunch of junk away. Let me see, I'll put that down.
I believe we're down to our last item, the gas forge.
We are down to our last item, aren't we? The gas forge.
Yep.
Believe so. Sweetness. We'll make them hang around for that. All right, so I want to answer that question in more detail because it sounds like we have a lot of beginners, starters here this evening. I am a very big, how do you want to say it? What's a person? Advocate. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm a very big advocate of learning your fundamentals of forging first. And I don't care if you want to be a blade maker. I don't care if you want to forge sewing needles for a living or not do it for a living. I don't care. You need to learn and practice your fundamentals every chance you get because it's those fundamentals that allow you to undertake anything, and I do mean anything, in the realm of blacksmithing or bladesmithing, period. They all come back to these fundamentals and you can't escape them. Don't matter what you're doing. I don't care what you're making. They all come back to these fundamentals and they will incorporate one or more of these fundamental processes. So let's go to the anvil chest real quick.
All right.
And I'm going to show them on a ring because I teach a fundamentals class. I teach a fundamentals course quite often. All right, so what are the fundamentals, you may be asking yourself? I've got entire video series on these, by the way. I've got multiple video series on these, teaching them. Your very first fundamental is forging a taper. Drawing material, reducing its cross-sectional thickness and increasing its length. That is drawing material out, or hence making a taper. That's your very first step. Can't do that, can't put a point on the end of the bar, you're not a very good blacksmith or bladesmith right off the gate. You've got to learn this. This is step one. Step two, upsetting material or thickening a bar by shortening its length while increasing its cross-sectional thickness area. Basically the opposite of tapering. This is going to be very handy for you in a whole host of operations, like making this hardy that we're working on right now. We've been doing upsetting work. And oh, Lord and behold, we've been doing tapering work. After that, bending. Now this I have illustrated as just a simple U-bend, but this applies to 90-degree bends, this thing with loops, twists, anything like that, you know, wraps, bending material, straightening it out, bending it again, getting it to the right angle and pitch, and being able to achieve a certain radius on a bend like this for hooks. So hooks, you might have upset material for the head and forged it down flat. You might have tapered out the hook itself, and maybe you've bent it now, right? Those are three fundamentals in just making a hook in of itself. Now let's say you want to get fancy pants with it. Twisting. Somebody talked about cable earlier. How are you going to make cable, Damascus, if you don't know how to twist stuff up? Right? You need to learn to do some twisting with your stuff. Next one beyond that unless you're doing more of the architectural work and things of that nature, punching. Or if you're going to, for the love of God, if you're going to take and compete on the show, Forged in Fire, for the love of God, learn this ring. Okay, enough of the rant there. I'll dry that one up. I don't want to. It's so good. Learn the fundamentals before you go compete on a show like that. Punching holes, square and round, slitting and drifting. That's a bit more elaborate, but basically putting holes through something. Splitting, that's another one. Barbecue forks, roasting tines, guards for things that are sharp and pointy and stabby. That will be helpful to you. And then finally, the last fundamental is forge welding. I have that illustrated here with a wrapped eye that has been forge welded back into itself. Those are your fundamentals. Let me go over them again. Tapering, upsetting, bending, twisting, punching, splitting, and forge welding. Those are your 7 fundamental forging exercises that you as a beginning smith need to learn. And you need to practice these. Get you a bit of 1/2 inch bar. Make each one of these processes. Cut them off, drop them to the floor. Make another one, cut it off, drop it to the floor. Make another one, cut it off, drop it to the floor. Make 10 of those, at least, bare bones minimum. And I swear that your skills will be leaps and bounds further than most people you see online nowadays. So practice your fundamentals. That is my advice to everyone. It's been that way for 6 years now while being on YouTube. Because the amount of cringe that's out there of people who don't know how to put a point on the end of the bar but have been professionally bladesmithing for the last 35 years is insane. It's insane. Learn your fundamentals. Man, they got a lot of free rants tonight, didn't they?
They did.
Somebody ought to pay the fool up here.
Kyle Jones says,
like I've got a jester's hat on right now, I'm sure. What's up?
Kyle Jones says, the Forged in Fire got Roy going, laughy face.
Yeah.
Mustanger said, is that 1/2 inch mild steel?
Huh?
1/2 inch mild steel that you recommend?
Yes. The reason for 1/2 inch, it's a bit more spendy than 3/8, but 1/2 inch mild steel, you can actually see the material move. You can see it easier. It stays hotter a little bit longer. You can see a cause and effect easier. When it's on 3/8 inch bar stock, it's a little harder to see that cause and effect happen with each hammer blow. So that's why I recommend the 1/2 inch. If you got 3/8, use 3/8. If you got 1/2 inch, use 1/2 inch. Use what you can, but practice your fundamentals. As a beginner, as an intermediate, or even if you got the Dunning-Kruger effect going on, you need to practice twice as hard as the next guy. So, let's go.
All right.
Anvil. Do this real quick. Continue to taper. Whoa. Whoa. Again. Whoa. Whoa, good. Put this flatter on here. So now as we're getting thinner, we don't need to dress this as hard because now he's got higher throughput of hitting energy to actually push that middle out. We may have to dress it one more time up here just for P's and Q's. And by the way, me bumping off and moving, I'm just checking the progress. So every time he hits it, go ahead. You see me move like that? It's not because I can't hold it on the piece. I'm checking the progress of the piece as we go. Good. Whack it here. Bump that back over. Good. Good. So like I said, he's having higher throughput now, so we're not having to take and dress those fish lips as much.
Hey Dana, have a good evening.
Dana, thanks for being here. And thank you for the sticker pack, sir.
Christopher Fay. Yes, Roy does have he has multiple videos where he goes in depth on the 7 skills. There's a dedicated video for each one. The playlist is called Blacksmithing Fundamentals.
I go in depth and at length on each one, illustrating them. Oh.
Oh, I think Speargrass is calling me a sissy.
He said, is Jess forging or Thomas?
Jessica can hit pretty darn hard. So
I did strike for you a while back when we were in Ohio. What was the project?
I was told nothing but
a pair of dragon wall sconces
Oh yeah.
was the project. Yep. Oh. So again, misconception is that you need to take and swing for the fences. If you swing for the fences and you're forging with me, I'm going to send you home. I don't want my head crushed in. I don't want a loose cannon snapping the tip of the horn of my anvil off or blowing out a chunk of Olga's edge. I don't want a loose cannon. You know, I want slow, controlled, progressive forging. That's what I want. Each step to be methodical and lead to the next step in as least amount of hammer blows as possible. That is my goal as a smith, and to have a final result that will last and stand the test of time for ages. My goal is not to just have a big monkey come out and thump it. You know, I've got a big dumb power hammer for that. I could do that. I can put it under a press. I'm working with somebody because I'm trying to get a result. And even under those I am. I'm not just sticking it in and smashy, smashy, smashy. Oh look, it came out with something. So, it's just a different way of looking at your work.
By the way, Heath Miller, thank you for the $10 super chat. He says, tip for the Roy rant.
Thank you, Heath Miller. Greatly appreciated. So, how many people we got in the stream? So I know how many people I'm like being disgraced to right now with speaking knowledge.
120.
120 people.
Yep.
See, we've winnowed out a few. We've gotten rid of a few because of those Roy rants. It hurt the feelings. It hurt the heart muscle. They have to go and repent right now. They're going to confession. I'm one of those guys. He is talking about me. Oh.
See, another question from Carlos. He asked, how do you calculate the amount of material needed for a project?
There are calculations you can do. I do not do any calculations myself, generally speaking, unless it's super critical that I do so. Generally speaking, I do it by eye. That's the way I learned to do it. That's the way I've been taught to do it, is just you do it by eye. I do the calculation in my head, and it's not math. It's that looks like it has the right amount of volume to become that shape. And then I forge a test piece. And if the test piece has what I want and the proper characteristics in it, then I continue with that type of thought process or that size material with that amount of length. And it's all just a matter of writing down your work, right? So if you're like, okay, hey, to make this size hammerhead, I'm going to start with, say, 4 inches in diameter. I'm going to start with 4 inches in diameter and, you know, something stupid 9 inches long. And I'm trying to make a 3-pound hammer. Well, clearly that's too much, right? Because 3-pound hammer is nowhere close to those dimensions, right? So you want to find something close to the dimension, at least I do. Or if you're resizing something, you have to see the piece within the piece. so to speak, inside the raw bar stock. I find that to be super helpful because it allows you to be highly adaptable and adjustable. So, for instance, we'll pick on Forge and Fire again. You see them do those challenges where they got to go cut a piece off of something that is of this, and they got to use that to be the same size as something else, right? They're like, I need a 12-inch blade, and they end up with like an 8-inch blade. Or they end up with something 24 inches long, like these guys have been lying to themselves for years. Is what's happened there. And so they don't know how to read a tape measure, okay? So it's about seeing the volume in a piece. It makes you much more adaptable, highly adaptable. There was one I watched. They were doing armor. They had to cut pieces from armor. And it was like this super thin tin material. And they had to stack and layer it up. And none of them practically came out with enough mass. And I could have told them that was going to happen by just what they had stacked up. You know, when they needed to create their blade out of it, they just did not have enough mass there to begin with. And they should have brought in a lot of extra. And then they all went out and had to go cut extra pieces and layer those on top, and it was a train wreck watching happen. But so that's kind of how I do that. As far as math is concerned, it'll get you close, but it's been in my experience that you are not a machine, so therefore the math kind of falls apart once you start swinging a hammer at it. So you need to forge a test piece, measure, calculate from there, and then adjust accordingly. That's how I've always done it, and it's always turned out. Big architectural jobs, you have to do the same thing. I know math, like for scroll work and things like that, but it's just completely different when you actually get in there and you start slamming down on a power hammer with some drawing dies. You might draw that material out too thin. You know, too many of these under the power hammer, and now it's longer than the rest of everything, right? The math was correct. The starting volume was correct of material, but then once you actually start throwing down and getting in your groove, ripping out pieces, all your pieces are now all of a sudden 3 feet longer than what they should have been because you got a little carried away on the old power hammer and listening to some tunes, right? In that case, what do? You leave it on longer bar stock and you cut it off. If you need to exploratory forge, measure your bar to begin with. After you do what you want to do and it looks good to you and it makes the type of scroll you want, measure the result. How much do you have left over? And that tells you how much material you needed for all the rest of the 4,000 scrolls that you're going to be making. Hopefully that answers the question good enough. I know it's not mathematical in any way, shape, or form. A good person for that, Mark Asbury. All day long. That dude, he likes his math. Mm-hmm. And even he says it'll get you close, but you're not perfect. So it's only going to get you close to where you need to be. We're almost there. This is almost hot enough to work. Rah!
Jim Mitchell says, what is your favorite product to create the final finish on your work? Boiled linseed oil, Johnson's paste wax, etc., etc.
It's so difficult. Because of the varied work I do on tools, I like oil. Not boiled linseed oil, but I like oil, like motor oil. I shouldn't be telling you that, carcinogenic. But man, it puts one hell of a coat on a piece of material and blackens it out and seasons it like you wouldn't believe. So that's what I use on my tongs and tools, and it gets between the joints and it keeps them from rusting to all heck and back while they're not in use. That's my main kind of finish that I use for tools that I make for myself. If it's for a customer, I pick non-toxic options, the best that I can. If it's going to be for food grade, it's for food grade oil. If I'm going to, be doing something interior-wise, it's usually paint of some kind, or it's a beeswax finish, generally speaking. If I need to darken something out, it's boiled linseed oil. On hammers and things like that, boiled linseed oil is a really great metal protectant as well as a wood protectant as well, so I will use it. I do stray away from using boiled linseed oil on everything because there's a fire hazard risk with the rags that I burn them instantly is what they do. And I'm just deathly afraid, like if I'm working around a bunch of students, no boiled linseed oil, no bueno. I'm not going to have one just accidentally finish up wiping and cleaning a project and then throw it away in the trash. So I stay away from those type products altogether, or oils in general, unless it's a food grade type oil and I have a rag collection at the end of the day, so nothing spontaneously combusts. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so it's a whole range. I would say probably the easiest one out of them all for me to do, I would have to say probably is beeswax. It's a good general purpose. You could build like a heavy layer up on something, like a piece of ironwork that's going to sit outside. You can develop a really thick layer of beeswax on a piece and protect that thing for a long time to come. So I would say probably beeswax. And it's also just, it mutes the tone of the steel down a little bit to where it's not glossy, but it still gets the point across. It's nice for like shelf brackets and things. Mm-hmm. And it smells good. Oh my gosh, does it smell good.
Adam Nielsen says, do you make your own eye dies for swedging handle holes for hammers and axe heads, or have you purchased from a supply house?
So make my own slitting
Drifts,
punches
yeah.
and drifts.
Mm-hmm.
I make all my own tools in-house, generally speaking, when it comes to eyes. For hammer eye, punches, and all that, that's all made in-house by me. So
you did get a good axe drift from Holland.
I do have an axe drift. Like if it's something that I'm not going to do very often, I'm not going to waste my time into making something and figuring out the multiple tooling iterations that it takes to have exactly what you need. So like something like Holland Anvil's H13 axe drift, I use that on a hatchet for my boy, and I'll be using that in other videos when I make some other woodworking tools in the future. Again, it's not, I don't make a ton of axes, and so I'm not going to spend the time investing in the R&D time for the tooling to get it right. So I just buy something commercially made already. But when it comes down to like hammer eyes and something I've sold a lot of, hammers or punching round holes or this or that or what have you, ovals and drifts, I go ahead and I work at making all of that myself. It just makes more sense that way. Let's go to the anvil.
All right.
You ready, Thomas? Well, whoa. Draw this side out. You hit more. Do you see that bump there? There you go. Whoa. Draw that corner down. Whoa. Now square it up by hitting over here. Yep. Hang to that side a little bit. Not a bunch. Good. So we got some work right here. See where it's flat right there? See that flat? Take the flat out. See the flat? Work up the bevel higher. There you go. Well, See how we've got a nice taper here, but that's got a flat on it? It's because we've pulled real steep here and we've been shallower here. So next heat, we're gonna hit right in there, okay? And we're gonna take that out. And you're gonna do that by coming in with the toe of the hammer just a little bit, just like so. Not steep, but like that.
Okay.
Okay? And we're gonna draw that down to the other. Oh, we almost got a finished we almost have a finished tool here, Jess.
Yeah, it's close.
Then I can take the rest with grinding. The grinder makes you, the smith you ain't.
Question from Carlos says, when you're not filming, what do you listen to when forging on your own?
Sometimes I like silence. Just silence. A lot of times I'm listening to podcasts. I like listening to radio dramas. It kind of just depends on the day. I like to, I like to mix and match basically. I'll listen to Pandora a lot and different music, different genres. Yeah, that's just basically me in a nutshell. I don't really conform to any one certain thing. I don't have a mantra. I don't do a lot of that type of stuff. I just, I get in and I get after the work and get it done. So whatever kind of tickles my fancy that day, that's what it is. It may be, I might be listening to country music. I might be listening to old country, new, bluegrass, gospel, bluegrass, gospel. I might be listening to, podcasts of some sort. It could be forging podcasts. It could be not. I really like listening to stories or like radio dramas. I'm a fairly big history buff. I like history quite a bit, so I listen to history commentary quite a bit. And it kind of just all depends on how my mood strikes me. If I'm in a kind of like a let's get this thing done, and I got a lot of power hammer work or a lot of loud work to do in the shop, I play Pandora, I play music, and basically all sorts of genres of music. So, yep. I'm definitely more of a butterfly when it comes to that. Oh, I'm not too regimented on what I like to listen to. Mainly, you got to understand from the standpoint of I might be spending 10 or 12 hours a day out here working, and then I might go inside and work additionally doing editing for YouTube videos and things like that. And so that's a long time to be spent alone in one's thoughts. So, yep, long time. So eventually you start learning the patterns of all the radio stations. And they play the same 15 soundtracks again and again and again 4 times over in the same day. You lose your mind after a while listening to that for a month. Oh, and that's with anything.
Brittinghammer Forge has a question for me. Says, is it possible to repair a chip in my wife's enamel cast iron pot? Such as applying the enamel powder, hitting it with a torch, or would it be a mess? From my experience with enameling, you have to heat the whole piece at the same time, which is going to be tricky with an entire pot. Because what happens is the steel and the enamel both expand, and if it's expanding in one spot but not the rest of the pot, it's going to probably chip off even bigger, or just cause you more problems. So I believe it's possible, but how you would go about doing it would be the trick. You could heat it on the forge. I have successfully been able to enamel out of a forge. What I did was I set a piece of steel in the forge, brought it up to basically a dull red, and then brought it to the anvil and sprinkled my enamel powders on it. It did get a little bit of grit in it from the coke that didn't come out, so that could be possible, but I would try it with a scrap enamel piece before you try that on the pot. So if you just had like a little something you could pick up at a thrift store or something and try it with first. But A lot of steels are not, they say that you can't enamel directly on them. So there's actually a product you can get from Thompson Enamel. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but you put it on between the layer of steel and the layer of enamel. And the reason why is because steel and enamel have different coefficients of expansion. Basically, they expand at different rates, and they're so different that it can be difficult to fuse. I did do a video a little while back, I think it was about 1.5 years ago, where I was kind of just experimenting with enameling straight on some little steel flowers that I forged, and I had some chipping on them. So I bought in the coating that goes on the steel, and I need to play with that some more. But also another time, I just had some little keychains that we sell off of our website, like the little bumblebees. And those I was just able to set in the fire and then take off, and I sprinkled some yellow enamel, and it stuck and it didn't chip off. So it kind of depends on the steel. You can actually buy like some of the cast iron appliances and pots and stuff like that are actually made from specific steel that's good for enameling. It's called, it's like extremely low carbon steel, and they call that enameling steel, and it's kind of a specialty thing, but it's possible to get a hold of that, and then it does not require, the extra intermediary layer between the steel and the enamel. Freedom for All ask, how did you team up with Mr. Volcano? What we did is we basically contacted them and said, hey, we would like to buy a forge off of you once a month. Could you make sure to set one aside so there's always one available? So we are purchasing the forges to give away, and that's what's happening.
Yep. So when we say purchase, technically everybody who's been contributing to these live streams, that's who's purchasing these forges and making it possible, and the materials that go into making these guillotine toolkits to take and give away, right? All that is viewer funded. So, but yeah, we're purchasing that. There's certain companies, sometimes they reach out. All last year we worked with Holland Anvil. Great guys over there, highly suggest their tools and products. They took and gave us at a reduced cost some swedge blocks to give away for the year of the swedge, along with some other great tooling. Also, Blacksmith Supply, right, as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Blacksmith Supply, they got with us. They gave us a whole bunch of tom tongs that we gave away last year as well. And so occasionally we'll partner with, different companies like that and give things away that they have to offer in exchange for, a shout out, right? It works out pretty good. So that's how those relationships develop. We have had a few problems with supply chain issues with stuff. We did the Year of the Anvil, and we did the Achaio anvils. And of course, when we did that and we mentioned them, they all sold out, and then it was hard for us to get anvils in so we could give them away. Mm-hmm. So that's why when we were doing the Year of the Forge, we came up with doing the Year of the Forge. We went ahead and contacted Mr. Volcano to make sure that they were actually going to have their crud in order, for lack of a better word, in order for us to take and give things away.
Yep.
So
like last month when Amazon was out of their forges, they had one set aside for us to ship out. So that way the winner got it.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go to Anvil Cam Just real quick.
All right.
We're going to take the last heat, I think, maybe of the evening on this and give the forge away. But I wanted to take a show of this too as well. Possum Sausage, or Keith Bear, he actually came up and took a class with me. Him and his wife, lovely people, and had a great time with them. And he noticed I didn't have a handled hot cut, in the shop, and we talked about that. And so he decided to make me one. And so he actually sent this up to me. I thanked him in an Instagram story. But I just wanted to take and show that marvelous thing off there. He did a great job on it. I look forward to putting this to use quite often. And then he also gave me a newer Farrier's rasp that I've added to my collection now as well for doing hot rasping on stuff. So thank you, Keith Bear, for that. These will be greatly used and greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. I just wanted to mention that out real quick and showcase that off. All right, we ready? Let's stay at the anvil cam.
All right.
Thomas, you ready? Okay. So we're going to aim for that little knoll there. All the way across. Work it down into the taper, the rest of it. Down towards the tip. Whoa. Nice. All right. Hold up. See how we have a nub there?
Yep.
Let's work that out. Nice and flat. You need to come in more flat on it. There you go. That's how we take out the arch of that. All the way across the piece. Make sure you're hitting all the way across the piece. Whoa. Looks good. Looks good. Oh man. I think one more heat, we can have that forged to perfection.
And that's what we aim for.
That's what we aim for. Hopefully you can see that. Cool.
Leland Hawks sent a $10 super chat, and he said, the direction and explanation you're giving Thomas has helped me understand quite a bit.
I didn't hear you, Hun Bear.
Okay. Leland Hawks sent a $10 super chat. He said, the direction and explanation that you're giving Thomas has helped me understand quite a bit.
Awesome. I'm glad that's helpful. So, also, I want to go ahead and point this out. I had made mention in one of my videos that Thomas is a newbie, right? I think that was the word I used, was a newbie, or something like that. And just want to make it real clear that when you're witnessing me and Thomas work together, me and Thomas have both worked in the construction industry. So we say a lot nastier things to each other than just newbie when we're working together in the shop. It is all part of camaraderie that we have built up. We have our own inside jokes, our own things like that. And so one commenter particularly took offense to it and said, well, I thought newbie, I thought we were all inclusive here. I thought we were an inclusive blacksmithing community, and we are. But if you get your skirts all up in a bunch over the word newbie, you'd be shocked and aghast at the other things that we joke around with each other about in the course of a day of daily work. That's the holdovers from when I worked in construction and I worked in heating and air conditioning, working around plumbers and pipe fitters and commercial outfits of all kinds. You know, I'm really G-rated in comparison to what's out there. And so we have that kind of camaraderie, and, you know, we mess around. So I may not say something, hey, smuggly woogly woogly poo, would you mind hitting it over here for me? But that doesn't mean I don't care for Thomas. It doesn't mean that I don't respect Thomas as a man or his labor or his work. I do. We're just very direct with one another because we're trying to get to a point, right? I'm trying to achieve a point, right? Huh?
And I was in the Army, so whatever
Yeah,
you say.
and he is ex-military as well. So there's nothing I could say to him that would hurt his feelings. So just putting that FYI out there. You know, I generally put on the kid gloves if I'm just meeting somebody for the first time, just because I don't know who they are or whatever. But you may say, I might say, hey, stop that. That's me just being direct. Stop hitting it. Don't do this. Don't do that. It's not out of a sign of disrespect or a lack of care. It's just we're getting a job done, basically. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but in the world we live in now, you have to express those things like, calm down, calm down. Go back to your mother's basement wearing your Cheetos on your shirt with your Batman underwear. Calm down. It'll all be okay. Your daddy will be home soon. Maybe. Sorry.
He's just going to get some cigarettes.
Yeah. He just went to go get some cigarettes. So, yeah. See, that's the kind of talk that we do all the time in the shop when we're working together. It's direct. None of it's serious. It's just meant to pass the time. Questions and comments to that? I'm sure there's interesting ones.
Let's see. K. Derek Goodwin just said, my wife just said, I thought this was over at 7. He's like a long-winded preacher.
But I'm funner than a long-winded preacher. Because you're not sitting in a pew right now, are you? You're in that easy chair, aren't you? In the basement. The Cheeto-stained t-shirt. We see you.
Michael Rowland says, too many sensitive people these days.
Yeah.
David Payne says, I am an electrician. Thin-skinned people in construction does not last long.
No, they don't, unfortunately. It's not that you go out of your way either to try to insult somebody. You're not intentionally trying to offend anybody. It's just people get offended over just about everything, their own shadows these days. And that's one of the hardest things I've tried to learn with forging and blacksmithing, and it's kind of weird balancing my faith in that too, is like, how do you do all that but yet still survive in an industry that will eat you alive, right, if you're a pushover. So it's one of those tricky things I've always struggled with. So I am prone to saying things that upsets people, and then I just apologize that they're upset. I'm not sorry for what I said, but I'm sorry that they're upset about it. So
Rob Huff says, what's wrong with Batman undies? And Heath Miller says, it's not Batman, it's Transformers underwear.
Transformers. He's got Optimus Prime on the front and Decepticons in the back.
It's probably actually Hello Kitty.
It's Hello Kitty. That's what it is. It's actual Hello Kitty. So, no.
Chuck Miller's just joining us. He says, late to the party as I had surgery and the meds kept me out. Hello, Roy, Jess, and all.
Hello, Chuck. God bless you, brother. I hope you get to feeling better soon.
Yeah, we'll be praying
We are
for
like
you.
right there, almost done with this
So
thing.
close.
I swear we could have been done with this thing hours. We could have been done with this last live stream.
Yeah, just need super hot forge.
Yep.
Mustanger says, do you have to temper or heat treat this hardy afterwards?
Some people would say it's advisable that you do. This is a piece of 1045, so it's not it's a softer material even when hardened. I probably will not harden it. I'll probably just normalize it and leave it be at that. So I always bring out, I don't cut cold material on my hot cut hardies. I cut hot material on my hot cut hardies. And so whatever razor edge you put on it there, it's going to end up, losing its temper over time anyhow, especially if you're cutting anything with some thickness. So I generally don't worry about it. I'll get this good and hot. In fact, there's a thing I do with my tools that maybe I shouldn't be telling anybody about. It's kind of Roy's secret sauce. It stands to reason. Again, metallurgists out there, this is why I probably shouldn't be professing it, that this is what I do, because metallurgists are going to lose their mind. What I do with my hot cut, all my hot cut tools, my hardy tools, things like that, stuff that I'm going to be using, since I use a lot of 1045 for tooling, and I use mild steel as well. I use softer range of materials. All I do is I actually oil quench it. 1045 is a water quench material, and so therefore it does not get hard in oil. Or should I say, it does not get as hard as it could be in water as it does in oil. So you know, it gets really hard, or it gets a lot harder in water, or to its peak hardness in water, and then you temper it back, versus in oil, it never gets hard, fully hard to begin with. I have found just quenching it quick, taking up to like a nice dull red temperature and quenching it in oil, which both seasons the tool and finishes up, it kind of gives it a nice toughened exterior with a soft core. That is what I have found personally, and it works great. And it's a simple one-step deal. So that's what I use for a lot of my tools. Now, if I'm making a tool for somebody else, this is where I've got to preface this. If I'm making a tool for somebody else, like a hammer, I am following a chart on what the correct temper is, what the correct soak times are, what the correct quenching temperatures are. I'm following all that to the letter, because that tool is going to be in somebody else's hand, and I don't want it to blow up on them someday, right? I don't want them to lose a chip, or you know what I mean, or anything. I want that tool to last them for centuries. In my own shop, I'm more concerned about the art that I'm producing than the tool, right? That's my main thing. So I'm going to put as least amount of time into the tool so I can get back to my real work that I actually get paid money for. So when it's for a customer, it's by the book. It has to be by the book. And in your own shop, it better be by the book. Don't go with any sorts of weird cuckoo math, or quenching a blade's true north and whatever, all this not. Follow it by the book, the standards that are set out there for heat treatment, that are already very well documented and described. So no heat treatment on this, just because it's a simple hardy tool. I don't mind if I got to keep redressing the edge and grind it back, you know, for the next 100 years until it's a stubby in my anvil, and I'll make me another one.
You've had that other one for how long?
Again, when I got Olga, before YouTube. I've had that. Well, no, that was after I got Olga.
Oh.
So that would have been a year after we started YouTube, maybe 2.
Okay, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, so about 4 or 5 years old.
Have you?
Yep, because I made it for a YouTube video. So
how often did you have to dress that one?
Once a year, I dress it, and it's not hardened. It was. I hardened and tempered it, but it's lost all hardness and temper that was in it since then.
Rob Huff sent a super chat, $5, said blowers on the way. I'll send you the tracking number tonight. Thank you, Rob. You're an awesome. You are awesome. All right, hon. Let's go ahead and give away the gas forge. I know a lot of people are there for us. Anybody who wants to come, stay for the little after hours here for this next heat, you can. But let's go ahead and give away the gas forge. Does that sound good? Sounds good. Oh, this thing takes forever right now. Working with shoddy equipment. Somebody said you might just need to clean off the blades in it. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. I got to tear it apart and look into it. But a newer, better, more powerful blower wouldn't hurt either. So, all right. So we are going to go ahead and draw a name now for the Mr. Volcano Gas Forge. Again, this is what, number 3? Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. This is Gas Forge number 3 that we're giving away this year out of 12 gas forges for the year of the forge. We do these live streams once a month, these giveaway lives once a month. So be sure to check in next month as well. Subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, otherwise you won't know when we go live and do these things. We do post to social media about them a bit before, but there you go. You miss that, you miss your chance, because you do have to be here and present in order to win. That's right. Is that correct? Yes. Also, do you want to go into any of the other things about it? Yes, like I do. Who it's open to and where does it go to? Yes, the Mr. Volcano, we will ship anywhere in the U.S., in the UK, or Australia. So please only enter and comment if you are in the US, UK, or Australia. And also our other main requirement is that you be over 18. If you are under 18 and you win, your guardian actually has to claim the prize for you. Which I think our very first one of the year actually was a young guy who was 16, and it was for his birthday actually, right around his birthday. So that was pretty cool, getting him started into blacksmithing.
Yeah, cool. All right, ready?
Yep.
Let's ring for it, shall we? What
Yes.
about Canada? Are they out of the question? I thought Canada too.
Yeah, Canada too.
Yeah, Canada, you guys are cool too. You're allowed. All right, we ready?
Yes.
Is everybody commenting?
They are.
All right, let's go for it. This is for the gas forge. Who do we have?
All right. I landed on, comments are still jumping. I landed on Brian FTB 1022 with Forge.
Brian what?
Brian FTB.
Brian FTB with Forge. Congratulations. You got 24 hours to contact us. Thank you, Thomas, for hand model. Yep. Contact email down in the description down below. All right. How many people we got? Quick, before they run away.
We were at 131.
We're at 131?
Now we're at 127.
127.
Yes.
I imagine that'll go down very quickly from here.
So quick little, if you want, I'll recap on the winners so far.
Can we go to the anvil first,
Yes,
please?
go
This is
ahead.
hot enough to work on, so
Go for it.
let's do that first. All right, we're going to work the sides here. Don't hit until I stop and I'm on the piece.
Yep.
See how we've got a arch here, so we need to take that out. Good. Now you see how we've got it crooked a little bit, so we're going to put this in the anvil. And you're going to hit it back your way.
This way?
Yep. A little more. Keep going. Whoa.
Looks like it'll cancel that towards the horn a little bit.
All right. Do that one. That one. In trouble. Actually, don't need that one. We need to kind of keep it up there. Get it right in there. We'll have to heat that up again and probably take that bend out a bit more. Trying to straighten the bend out of the shank on it. But for all intents and purposes, that's good to go. That's the forging end of it. I'm gonna let you guys imagination run wild. We'll have to adjust this a little bit, straighten her up a little bit. But the forging, we come down close. We don't forge to finish. Now we are ready to grind that to the correct bevel that I need in order for my hot cut Hardys that I like to take and put on there. So that is pretty good to go. Now it's ready to take and go ahead and do the rest of the operation. It fits really nice one direction. I can always clean that up a little bit later where it fits all different directions. Inside the Hardy hole of Olga here, it is not a perfectly milled shaft that's perfectly broached nice and square. It has actually got a cant in it part of the way down because this was actually forged and drifted through here. So you can't, so the shaft itself may look a little bit wonky, but it fits in there perfectly. So it actually fits that curvature, that little offshoot curvature that they have in there. So I got to do a little bit of dressing up on this to get it perfectly clean, but now that thing's nice and square, and that's going to give me way better purchase on cutting off material. I like these style Hardy, hot cut Hardys more than I do the arch frame that I've made like that. I like those a lot better, more robust in my opinion. So there you have it. We'll call that it for that. I've got some dressing and tuning. You guys will see that in the next giveaway live that we do. All finished up, I assure you. And basically the rest of this work is just grinding. And in the next giveaway live, true to my word, I'm actually going to give away the hot cut Hardy that was in Olga before. I'm going to go ahead and give that away to one lucky viewer, if you count yourself as lucky. And I'll actually send this out to one lucky viewer next giveaway live stream. Sound good?
It does. Chuck Miller, yes, the Hardy that they are making there is for Roy's Anvil Olga.
Yep.
And also Mustang asked how long you think the grinding time will take you.
Grinding time, 10 minutes or less. So I have a little bit more forge work that I'm going to do on this to just kind of square things up a little bit and just kind of just planish things to my liking. But then it's very quickly to the grinder, and I'll have very little grind work to do. Just enough to put a bevel on it, basically. And it'll be a finished tool. Thank you, Thomas, for all your hard work, brother.
Yes, sir, no problem.
See? There we go. We like each other. It's all good in the neighborhood, huh?
Mm-hmm. Let's see here.
All right.
Alan Murdoch asked, now that it has slowed down, how do I send money without doing Super Chat? A couple of different ways you can support us. One of those is if you just want to go over and get a download. We have all kinds of plans and things like that for building forges, DaVinci power hammers, all kinds of things like that. And our landing page for that is blacksmithpdfs.com. You could also purchase some blanks or tooling over from blacksmithingblanks.com. Or if you just want to send a donation, I believe down in the description also we have a PayPal where you can just send a PayPal donation to. And we appreciate the thought.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, again, for all those of you that maybe this is your first time and you like the stream, but you're like, I don't think I want to give this internet weirdo any money. A great way of supporting the channel, again, is that like button, subscribing, right? Bell for notifications, and tell a friend, right? Share our content around. Whenever you find something that's helpful to you, share it around. Share around that you found it helpful. That helps the channel grow by leaps and bounds, and it helps this whole thing going, and it don't cost you anything but your time. So if you find the content valuable, if you found what we've done valuable, please share it around. It's of great help to us. So, ain't that right, sweetheart?
That is correct.
Good. Oh. All right, what time is it now?
We are at 8:23.
We are at 8:23. I can't believe it. Gee whiz. I went the extra mile tonight for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But any other questions before we get going here, Jess? I'll take 3 more. Let's take 3 more questions and call it a day.
Okay, sure.
Sound good?
Yep, that sounds good. Let me find 3 questions for you. Let's see. Tim O'Connor, it's not a question, but thanks to the hand model noob, LOL. Jess, of course, and Mr. Roy, thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Looking forward to
noob.
poetry time with Jess.
Thank you very much.
Let's see, G. Taylor, Roy, Jess, the whole crew, thank you for all you do.
Very welcome, G. Taylor. Thank you for
Army
being
Soldier
here.
says, great stream tonight.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Brittinghammer Forge sent a $10 super chat. I'll give that internet weirdo some money.
Well, this internet weirdo thanks you.
Let's see, Todd, good. If this has taught me anything, it's that I rush my work.
Well, I guess that's something to learn from my streams. I'm glad it's helped you learn that.
Gray Bearded Veteran said, thanks for the gift last month when I ordered calla lily blanks.
Very welcome. We like to send out a little free gift with just about every order that comes in. A little bit different just to show our appreciation and thank you for ordering. So thank you so much for the support. Greatly appreciated. Really do mean that from the bottom of the heart.
Let's see here. SW says, good night and God bless US and friends. Or God bless us. I think it's US because it's capitalized, but.
Thank you. God bless you as well.
Rob Huff, take care.
Take care, Rob. Talk to you soon, brother.
Yeah, so I don't see any questions.
No questions? Good.
Castle Forge, your videos have reached perfection.
I don't know about don't know about that, but I enjoy making them nonetheless. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for joining us for yet another live stream. Yeah, I'm super honored, and that's it. I can't say enough, glow enough about y'all. Thank you for joining us. Jessica, why don't you lead us out before this rain gets any worse, and like they can probably start seeing the dripping that's happening through my roof. So
it is raining.
so we can get all this electrical equipment packed up, if you will.
Okay.
But again, thank you all so much. Hate to cut and run, but it's been fun, and we will see you all in the next live stream right here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Bye now.
All right, real quick, let me give the list of the winners again. The Gas Forge is going to Brian FTB 1022. A C-frame guillotine tool is going to the Facebook winner, Ashley Vanderwall. A C guillotine tool is going on Instagram to Burgers Blades. For the stickers, we have Carlos Sandoval, Aaron Nelson Music, and Joshua Rivas. The lockbook is going to MG Walker 79. The A-frame guillotine tool that was drawn in the stream is going to Roger Caldwell. A small 120-degree tool is going both to Frank Strock and James Anderson. Rivet header is going to Jerry Witt, also Angelo Pedretti 83, Jeff Woodring. And lastly, we have some Flux stickers going to Alan Murdoch, Tim O'Connor, and Christian Honeycutt. And also, thank you, Justin Ray, for that $5 super chat for God bless the internet weirdo. So, it's been a little while since I've read the mantra of the blacksmith, The Village Blacksmith by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And this came back up to memory here recently because I heard a little bit of history around this story. Now, Henry actually, this was actually something he did. He would observe his local blacksmith underneath the chestnut tree. And so the chestnut tree stood outside the blacksmith shop. And the school kids would also stop there and watch the blacksmith after school was out. Well, they decided to widen the road where the blacksmith had his shop. And to do so, they had to remove the chestnut tree. So what they did is they actually took and made some lumber, and they made a chair from that and gave it to Henry. So that's kind of a neat little bit of a history behind that. So here we go, the village blacksmith. Under a spreading chestnut tree, the village smithy stands. The smith a mighty man is he, with large and sinewy hands, and the muscles of his brawny arms are strong as iron bands. His hair is crisp and black and long, his face is like the tan. His brow is wet with honest sweat, he earns what e'er he can. and looks the whole world in the face, for he owes not any man. Week in, week out, from morn till night, you can hear his bellows blow. You can hear him swing his heavy sledge with measured beat and slow, like a sexton ringing the village bell when the evening sun is low. And children coming home from school look in at the open door. They love to see the flaming forge and hear the bellows roar, and catch the burning sparks that fly like chaff from a threshing floor. He goes on Sunday to the church and sits among his boys. He hears the parson pray and preach. He hears his daughter's voice, singing in the village choir, and it makes his heart rejoice. It sounds to him like her mother's voice, singing in paradise. He needs must think of her once more, how in the grave she lies, and with his hard, rough hand he wipes a tear out of his eyes. Toiling, rejoicing, sorrowing, onwards through life he goes. Each morning sees some task begin, each evening sees it close. Something attempted, something done, he earned a night's repose. Thanks, thanks to thee, my worthy friend, for the lesson thou hast taught. Thus at the flaming forge of life our fortunes must be wrought. Thus on its sounding anvil shaped each burning deed and thought. By Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. So thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you on the next live stream.